Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Infinite RP and episode 14 of the Lost City of Vedranis. Good to see everybody here. Hope you've all been doing well. Let's just get right into seeing what the cast has been up to. I'm just going to go from my left to right on the screen. So, Derek, let's start with you, my friend. How's your week been?
Oh my god, me! It's been great. It has been absolutely delicious, if I may say so myself. It has been very busy. We have been doing a lot of things here at home with, immense amount of yard work, but also on the stream. Did our first art stream like yesterday. So much fun talking about ambitious projects and other things. And then we played some Apex to the new season. So I mean, we're very preoccupied. Our hands, our minds, and everything else on top of the mountain. But been good. The week's been great. Thank you so much for asking. I'm excited to ready to jump into some Vedranis.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. So ready. Ray, how's your week been?
Oh hey, my week has been all right. It feels like this week lasted 18 weeks, but maybe that's just me. Regardless, it's been good, and I'm super glad to be back here tonight. So I can't wait to see what's in store.
Hell yeah. And Justin, returning from being missing last week. Never mind. Let's continue. How's your week been?
It's been okay. I'm sick, which
Oh.
the only thing that means for everybody watching this means that whatever character I'm playing today, who is yet to be revealed, is also sick. they just have a cold. That's all.
Strangely, it makes perfect sense if you knew. Awesome.
I mean, better cold than having your brain sucked out of your skull.
Too soon?
Delicious.
And it tastes so good. Isla might be here at some point, so for now we're gonna kind of continue on, and hope that everything's going well and whatnot. But let us hop right into a recap, shall we? As I cue up the music.
Oh, French.
Yes,
Le musique.
the Lost City of the Lost City of Vedranis.
Wow.
In a different world, maybe. Anyway, last we left off, you guys had been in a fight with a bunch of zombies and skeletons after seeing your compatriot Vodder go down to a blight spell of a cursed sarcophagus.
Big oof.
You were able to clear out these zombies, but not before a couple. Calder went down, I think, a couple times, and you guys were able to look over Vodder and have a brief moment of respite while trying to figure out how to get out of this crypt that you guys have been stuck in before the doors that you entered in opened, and Halifax himself had returned, seemingly surprised that only one of you were dead. And you guys were discussing things and trying to figure out what your next step was. Wisp noticed another set of doors in the back area of the crypt and tried to get through it, seemingly upsetting Halifax and ensuing another bit of combat versus the Alhoun himself. You guys decided to flee rather than fight for the most part, and made your way through the doors after breaking them open, but not before our beloved Calder got attacked by Ibard's Black Tentacles, I believe was the spell that kept him down and restrained him from being able to escape with you. Struggling to keep alive, you guys decided to abandon Calder and Vodder, who had passed, and continue on. And that is where we begin tonight. As you guys, let me get a change in the music. You guys find yourselves in a sort of narrow hallway that kind of descends down some stairs, and there's no light in this hallway that you can see at the moment. So those of you with dark vision can see, but those without can only see the light behind you from the crypt that you were just in. But soon as you guys continue down the stairwell, that light disappears, trying to get away from Halifax, who kind of was peering through the opening as he was moving towards Vodder to presumably consume his brain matter.
He's going to be disappointed.
Very.
Vodder did not have a high intelligence score.
Is that what constitutes as how tasty a brain is how intelligent
Oh,
the
it has
person
to,
is?
right?
That makes sense.
He's just
You
sitting there like,
see-
this brain is gamey.
So as we're trying to walk, you see Wisp trying to kind of like you see her like putting her hands on the sides of her face and trying to like will her eyes to open and them to gloss over black like they usually do from their milky white stance. And every time she opens her eyes, they're still just white, and you see her getting like really frustrated because she doesn't have enough ki to cast her dark vision. So she's going to take her staff out and kind of just like as a walking stick, kind of use it as a guide to make sure she's not like running into anybody.
Okay. Kimura seems to be able to navigate just fine, and she does sort of take the lead, but she's not saying anything to anybody. Her shoulders are kind of slumped, and she's looking down, not really looking at where she's going, but continuing forward regardless. Nock, I do not believe you have dark vision either.
I do not know. I am just
having been
Nock is-
relying on Vodder to give you guys that dark vision from time to time.
Nock is just slapping at the walls and whatnot, making sure like there's not any that are like, going over too much or whatever that everything is on this cavern wall. So he's kind of just like bouncing off each side clumsily, but while also being very careful. It's probably the most careful. If anyone had dark vision, it's the most careful Nock has ever looked in his entire life. It's like Ace Ventura pretty much crawling around. But yeah. That's what I'd be doing. God damn it, Vodder. What'd you have? Yeah,
It's like me waking up in the middle of the night trying to plug my phone in. Knocking shit over.
You guys continue down the stairwell, not so dexterously as you guys are kind of slipping and whatnot, trying to make your way, hands on the sides of the walls. Though there's a little bit of light as you guys descend down. What you see ahead of you is about a hallway that's about 20 feet going straight, with a couple of alcoves in between that you've seen similarly throughout the mausoleum. You can see sarcophagi, god damn it, or whatever. Stone coffins inset into these walls, and there's writing on these above them, dictating and showing who potentially is laid to rest in that area. But what you see ahead of you is a large stone door, similar to what you've seen previously coming through the mausoleum. But you notice that there is light coming off of the door. You can't quite see what's causing the light, but you can see this pale blue aura kind of coalescing around the door itself. Like I said, it's about 20 feet away from you at the moment.
It's 20 feet. This thing is so it's emanating enough light for the hallway and corridor to be seen. Yes.
Yeah, it's still dark, and so like it's hard for you to really see what you're doing, and Nock, as you are kind of keeping your hands against the walls, you all of a sudden like lose your balance as you almost fall into one of these alcoves, but you're able to catch yourself.
Okay.
But at least like I'd say it's giving like a very, very dim light.
As I'm touching any of the walls, as I'm bouncing to and fro, can I feel like any texture difference realistically? Is it just cavern to like, is it cavern to cobblestone walls, like more paved out, so like purposed, if you would, or like maybe spider webs or anything of that sort?
No spider web, surprisingly.
Okay.
But it seems very clean in here. It's very smooth cobblestone. It almost seems like there's a little bit of moisture coming off of from somewhere, and your hand kind of slips off some of the moisture of the cobblestone. But it
Very
seems
moist cave. Understood. All right. Well, yeah. So I'm gonna continue to walk forward, without the grace of like being like, oh, that's like a magical door. I'm gonna look at that, and I'm gonna Nock is looking at that very suspiciously, but only sees a way forward. So Nock, as he pushes off the enclave, says out loud, "I think the room is getting bigger."
Bigger. What do you mean? And I'll like start to like, I'll stand in the middle, what I suppose is the middle of where we are, and take my staff and just kind of like out with my right hand and then cross back over and out with my left to see how wide we have, like if it is getting bigger. Um, and just kind of like try to get a bearing of what he means at the moment as well.
Mhm.
And like are you in front of me or behind me, Nock?
I came in behind you technically,
Okay.
so I'm gonna say that since Kimura is the one leading with dark vision, I
Okay.
am in the middle. We'll say mid next to you behind. We'll say
then
behind.
yeah, so as I'm doing that, kind of like just keeping a bearing of like where I am, I'm just going to like, in the spirit of not doing what happened back there again, so neither of us die or any of us die, let's not touch the door until we know we can. And I'm gonna kind of like pause to see if Kimura's gonna try and touch the door first or like what.
Yeah. See if she stops.
She's a few feet ahead of you, and she looks back at you guys for the first time. She's like, "Keep moving."
That's very good.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was a great.
That was
comment.
really good.
Everyone, can we take a minute in the chat real quick? Maybe like 3 seconds. Just
Just
that was a fantastic Kimura.
Stop.
Okay, so then I will kind of follow, like if she is telling us to keep moving, I would like to try, I'm the worst person for this, but as we get a little closer to the door, is there anything on, I want to check the, not the walls, but the ground or right above the door? I want to kind of see, actually, no, right on the ground. I'm going to get on my hands and knees because I can't see shit. And I'm going to start feeling on the ground in front of the door to see if there's any inscriptions, anything on the ground, like, you know, just try to see if there's anything there because that's what I have control over.
Right. So you don't see any inscriptions on the ground or anything, but as you do get closer to the door and you're able to kind of see the aura and the light, what you can see is some sort of etchings into the door of strange like symbols and things that you don't quite understand, but they're emanating this blue light. And then above the door, kind of arching around the keystone, you see something written.
Oh, okay. And I'm gonna like turn around and kind of like with my staff kind of tap at Nock in the shin, I assume, because I'm on the ground. Are you tall enough? Can you read that?
Nock looks up to the lettering as he can see it from the light illuminating it. He looks up at it. I can only read giant and common, so can I read what is on the wall?
You can. So it is written in common, and it says, etched into the stone itself, kind of faded. It seems like it's been there a while. It says, "Turn back, for that which lay ahead cannot see the light of day. Continue and be sealed within for eternity."
So it says, turn back because what is inside cannot see the light of day, and if we go in, there's no coming back.
So it says.
So that's basically the gist. Okay.
Yeah. So Nock repeats all of that because that was fantastic. And he then turns around to them and says, "Behind us is a man who just turned 2 of our best into corpses. And this door denies us entry because beyond it is chaos unfurled." He kind of he looks to the ground.
We have no choice. We must keep going, unless we want to defeat what is trying to get us from behind.
Nock's eyes go from the ground and meet with Wisp.
What would you have us do otherwise?
nothing else. We move forward. We have to.
And Kimura speaks up. Nox right. The three of us can't take Halifax on our own. We continue forward. And hope for the best.
Nock
So
takes
shall
a,
we?
Yep, takes the signal to turn and pushes on the door with all his might to get the stone doors open.
Okay. So as you push against the stone doors, you feel a tingle across your hand and start to go up your body. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, phenomenal.
And you rolled a 3, so never mind. Because you're exhausted, right? You have 2 levels of exhaustion,
Yeah.
so it would be at disadvantage, but with a 3, you're fine. So just keep note of that. So I believe that's what it is for. I believe it's. I'll have to look up the
He
rules
has
for
2
exhaustion.
levels of exhaustion. So
Right.
one level is
So one
normally
is
disadvantage
on skill checks.
and ability checks. I think 2 levels is also
Your
saving
speed,
throws?
your speed is
Or your,
halved.
your speed is halved. Okay.
Yeah. So your speed's at 40 now, I believe.
Yeah, my speed's at 40, so I'm at 20, if you would.
Okay. Which, by the way, we all leveled up to level 5 last
Yeah,
week.
we
I forgot
did.
to mention. So that's super exciting.
Not
But
all of us.
not all of them. God damn it. You take not a lot. You take 3 points of lightning damage as the door. You hear this, and as like this electric energy just courses up your body, and you're able to shrug it off surprisingly, but it doesn't feel super pretty.
When that goes off, you hear for the first time Wisp let out like a loud audible like almost kind of like seeing it start to do something and like was like not again. But it's like the loudest she's been up until this point.
Man,
And
not
she just kind of like
Nox.
sees you and just like she stops. And are you all right?
I've had mages go ahead and throw lightning storms at me to hurt worse than this. I'm fine.
Nock wants to just survey the room. Is the lightning coursing anywhere like around the room? Is the room itself that we just opened up, is it emanating that light anymore, or is it as...
So yeah, what you saw is what you're able to see when you put your hand to the door are those runes or sigils that are emanating that blue light. It became brighter, and that's where the energy came from. And then as you pulled your hand away, and as the energy seemed to subside, that blue energy seemed to die down a little bit. It's still there though.
Okay. And the door's not open, right?
No.
No. All right. So he looks to Wisp and Kimura and says,
I believe it's a spell. And I'm not opposed to hacking at it.
I don't. And kind of without thinking, I will kind of just like but like hit it with my staff and see if like hitting the inscription does anything to change it.
So
It's
you
kind
do
of like a reaction for her. She doesn't know like what else to do, so she's just like and just kind of goes to like hit the stone where the inscription is.
like on the door itself.
Yeah, on the door itself.
Okay.
Like above it to see if that like she doesn't have dispel magic. She doesn't know what he means by like what do we do, so she's just gonna hit it and hope it breaks.
Okay. Yeah, as you hit it, same thing. You hear the crackling of electric energy, and where you're using a weapon, I'll let you make the dexterity check at advantage. But I need a
okay.
dexterity saving throw.
Okay, no problem.
19. You take 6 points of lightning damage as your staff's made of wood, I believe, right?
Yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
does
Normal.
it does kind of stop a lot of the energy from flowing up to you, but a little bit does get to you, and you're able to pull away pretty quickly, but you still take that 6 points of lightning damage.
Cool. No problem.
What's this door say again?
And I'll
Knock-
kind of just like, I'll drop the staff real quick and just kind of like feel my fingers and then like look over at Knock and just shrug and then pick it back up.
Well, then
Not
he
quite
then he
sure.
looks at her, confirming.
Well, it seems like my strategy's out of the window.
Can you read the inscription one more time, Dan?
Yes, it says, "Turn back, for that which lay ahead cannot see the light of day. Continue and be sealed within for eternity."
Day. The light. The only thing keeping everything that should not be in or awake is the light. If we dispel the light, we bring everything else with us. And she'll just kind of like look at the inscription and like look in the door and just kind of like, you can see the wheels turning in her head.
Yeah, Knox kind of obsessed with the like turning back and having your back turned. So like you see Knock, like he takes like 5 steps away from it and he looks at the door and then turns his back to it. There is no other light in this room, no torches, nothing of that sort. Just the
Not-
light emanating from the
Yeah,
door.
just the light that you can see,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
All right.
The door, is the door open or just when we touched the door it gave us lightning?
I think we
No,
touched
it is closed. It is sealed shut.
Oh,
And
this
it
is just from
seemed-
us trying to touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
DM.
Read it to me one more time.
Turn back, for that which lay ahead cannot see the light of day. Continue and be sealed within for eternity.
If we go in there, we're stuck for the rest of our lives. Release it. We have damned the world, it says.
I mean,
Okay.
we were supposed to be left in the dream world forever, and we got out of that.
We went into Vedranis. We went into hell. And then the hell seems to have many layers. This is just one more layer, or not? How long do you think Halifax will be down here?
I don't know, but if we take a small rest, I might be able to have an idea. I just don't have anything to my disposal at the moment. And she kind of like looks at her hands and like you can see her frustrated.
Yeah.
We can rest for a bit, but we shouldn't wait too long.
Not long. Just enough for me to gain some strength back.
Yes.
We don't
I'm
want
like-
Halifax coming after us.
Unlike you, Kimura, we don't need you. We need sleep. You, on the other hand, you stay up like the hour you are. I'm going to take a nap.
And Knock just kind of sits down really
Mhm.
heavily and then lays his back, not up against the door, but right next to the door.
Okay.
And tries to get a nap.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys can take a short rest. If you regain anything from your short rest, I mean, obviously in D&D Beyond, it will take care of that, and you can use any hit die that you want.
All right, awesome.
Hit die is like we don't have to use all of them, right? We can use only a couple of them and then save
Yeah.
the rest for another time.
Exactly.
And I rarely roll hit die. Okay. So I get all my key back and I'm going to use 2 of my 5 hit die,
Okay.
which I get 8 hit points back.
Also used. How many hit die am I allowed to use?
As many as you have.
Yeah, 5.
So if you have all 5, you can use all 5 if you would like.
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna.
So during Wisp's short rest, she basically takes out her mat, she lays it down, and she sits in a meditation pose. But halfway through the meditation, you see her put her forehead to the earth, like in the same. She's still sitting, but now she's just in a forward fold, putting her forehead to the earth, and she puts her hands to the earth, Anybody listening will hear her mumble. She kind of mumbles some things to herself, and then at the end of it, she just gets up and packs up. But that's kind of like her short rest. She'll meditate, she'll say some mantras, and then she'll get up and pretend like nothing happened.
Okay. Yeah, and it does take you guys a little bit. Sorry, Derek.
Yeah.
So
No, go
a
ahead.
short rest is like an hour, so you still have like a bit of time. But just so you guys are aware. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that nappy nap in, that nucky nuck nappy nap, and then I'm going to get up with that last hour, and I'm just going to walk the outskirts of this room. Nock is doing this not only in the sense to just observe what is around the area to kind of get a gist of it, because he can't barely see anything on the outskirts of what this light from the door is emanating. So he wants to get that mental map, but also what's going through his head is just not only everything that's happened with the past battle, losing two others, getting where we are from who we got here from, thinking about all the different steps that got us to here and where we are. And while we're doing this, there's a lot of mental breakdown, but also much contradiction going on in his mind, because he knows why we've done things, know why things are going on, but the mental games of the time in Vedranis is really starting to wear on his mind as much as it is towards as much as the battles have in their experience. So he's just slowly sauntering and walking while putting his hands on the walls.
Okay.
Mr. Mime in that shit. Mr. Mime.
Mr. Mime. So yeah, it's literally just a hallway until you get to the stairs that you had just descended from a little while previous. And so yeah, you can kind of feel, and sometimes your hand gives way to an alcove where there's a sarcophagus there. Every 5-10 feet or so, there's a space in between on each side of the walls that you kind of get used to as you kind of saunter around.
Can I try to detect a trap of sorts if there is any on these sarcophaguses?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Yes, Dad. Fuck.
7. You're not seeing anything. It's very difficult to tell if there's any traps, because depending on the trap, it's either like there's a spring or a tripwire or something like that that's going to activate it, or something more magical, and it's just too dark for you to really see anything.
Okay, yeah, but then I'll finish that round after that hour of just feeling out the room and whatnot to the enclose and make my way back to Wisp more.
Okay.
Nock wants to ask Wisp.
Did you see Vodder open up that sarcophagus from the doctor?
I did. Yes, why?
Not sure. I can't really tell. Can't really see. But the sarcophaguses around here, there are plenty. Why are they buried around a door that says that it needs to go ahead and keep whatever's in? I'll make sure nothing goes in. Is this a burial site?
She'll smirk a little at you when you ask that. And I would assume this is a burial site, for we are in a mausoleum, in a graveyard. For what it's for what beast, creature, person lay within inside, I do not know. I thought it was the doctor, but I am not so sure now.
Well, if they have something behind the door, they don't want to go ahead and let out. This isn't much of a graveyard or a burial, is it?
What are you hinting at? Do you think that these things are protectors?
Nock throws up his very large hands as they flop back down his leather at his thighs. He's like,
I don't know, Wisp. I don't know. I'm just trying to get the hell out of this place.
and like he yells loud enough to hear an echo. Does that echo travel up the cavern as well? Like up
Yeah,
to
it
back where we came?
echoes. Yeah, it echoes pretty loudly. You can tell.
Well, here, let me do this. If this doesn't work, we'll check all the coffins. And over the door,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She'll go up to the door, about 10 feet from it. She'll make sure that everyone's behind her, so even Kimura. You see her put out her hands and do a symbol with it very quickly. And then you see her her eyes flash from that milky white to that black. And once again, out from almost as if like you can feel some sort of cold energy go from the top of her to the bottom of her. Out comes this wall of darkness, and she will cast darkness, and she'll center it over the entrance. It's a 15-foot radius sphere. So I'm just gonna like literally like it's gonna come out and get pushed kind of where the door is, and the door is gonna sit in the center of it and see if that does anything.
I mean, it covers the
That's
light for sure,
Okay.
but you can't really tell if it has done anything else.
Okay.
You can
And
see.
then
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, so basically what she'll do is like just kind of wait, and she's kind of like in a very childlike innocent way, because she has no idea what's going on. She's kind of waiting for like that power down, the boo, 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 boo sort of feel to the
Mhm.
door. And when she doesn't get that, and she's like sitting there and concentrating on it for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and nothing's changing, you just see her kind of like angrily, like from this mountain pose that she's in, grasp her hands like sharply, and it all dissipates, and you can immediately like it kind of gets soaked back into her, that darkness. And you just see her kind of like open her eyes. They're milky white again. She stares at the door, she stares at the ground, she looks behind her at the rest of them, and just back at the door. She looks defeated. She's trying not to show it, but she's really frustrated at this moment.
Okay. You
Sorry
see.
that painting the door didn't work.
And she'll snap back, turn around, and be like, I thought the darkness would do something.
Nock starts walking to the opposite side of the room. 281 of the sarcophaguses. How many sarcophaguses are there, DM?
Probably 6 to 8.
6 to 8. I'm gonna go to number 4.
Okay.
Choice.
All right. Thank you. And Nock is going to walk up to the sarcophagus, and I want to grab the entirety of this bottle, not the lid or anything, like the fucking whole thing. And I'm going to yeet it behind me. I'm just going to throw the damn thing.
Oh, so you're gonna pick
away
up
from
the sarcophagus itself?
I'm going to grab and throw the whole sarcophagus, because Nock has seen happens when you push a lid off of one. I'm not
Mhm.
having that blow off by. I want to grab it and I want to throw the entire thing.
At the door, or just?
No, not at this one. This one not at the door. Maybe the second.
Okay.
That we'll do that with number 3. But no, we're gonna do it with just with number 4. We're gonna take it and Fullest Yeetus the Corpetus, the right behind us.
Go ahead and make a strength check.
Give it to me.
What was your roll?
18.
18. You are at disadvantage, by the way, so I'm gonna have to ask
Ooh.
you to roll again.
Yes, sir.
Eric, make sure you're rolling your check and not your save too.
Yeah, you don't need to roll. Not a strength saving throw, but your
sorry.
like an athletics. Sorry, like an athletics check. Sorry, that was my fault.
No worries. Athletics.
And then just roll Uno Mas.
Uno Mas. Her.
Yeah. 18. in a bout of anger and frustration, what little rage you can bring without actually going into a full-fledged rage, you pick it up. And which direction are you throwing this? Because you're able to pick it up. But...
I'm gonna throw it like right at the entrance to where we came from, the furthest away from the priority, if you would.
Okay. And you pick it up and throw it, and then there's a loud crash and a clattering of stone rubble as the sarcophagus just is, the front end of it just collapses under the the strength and the weight that you've thrown it, and you see the lid topple and a mummified body roll out.
All right. I don't even pay attention to the body rolling out. My eyes are strictly at the hole to where the sarcophagus came out of. Cause are they in the wall? Like, are they just like embedded in the enclosure of the wall?
They're on like a stone slab, which they're like onset into that.
Okay,
But then
all
other
right.
than that, they're just free, like in the alcove.
Okay, and I don't notice anything suspicious underneath these things or anything else, like stairwells or anything else like that. Like, it's just a slab.
It's just a slab, but Wisp and Kimura, as he throws this coffin, the sarcophagus, for some reason, the light disappears from the door, and you hear as the two doors open towards you. Like, they open inwardly towards you.
Wait. They're open because of just the what? Just she
It's-
turns around and she looks at him, and she's just like she's trying to put two and two together. Like
Knock goes, I got it
that's
open.
what did it. For your
Yeah.
pleasure, I suppose.
Knock as he hears the stone door start to open. He takes his axe off his back and he just is walking towards the rest of the party, keeping his eye on the body too, just like kind of like a side glance to make sure that nothing's wriggling out of that mummified.
Yeah, it looks like whatever body or whatever corpse is there is indeed completely dead, but all of you feel an immediate wave of cold just hit you. On your character sheets in Roll20, go ahead and mark your temperature down 1. It is that cold as this wave of chill. You hear this as it seems like almost something was released. This cold air just rushes past you. Whatever robes you're wearing kind of billow for a second before.
Was it noticeable or uncomfortable?
Both.
Okay.
The worst kind of uncomfortable.
The noticeable.
Noticeably uncomfortable.
All right.
And ahead of you, you just see darkness.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'll usher to. I literally almost could just call her Vanya.
That's
Kimura.
That's robotic.
To Kimura, I will usher for Kimura to lead in first, since she has the dark vision.
Right, fine. Don't you two have any lanterns or something? That was a little Irish. I don't know why. Sorry.
It's all right.
It's Tavish meets Kimura.
Yeah.
I do have a
Devora.
torch. I will take a moment and take out a torch, and I will light myself a torch
Mm-hmm.
after she says that, because I feel really weak.
Knock loots the corpse that fell out of the sarcophagus before heading to the door. I only say this because listen. Knock is one of those they break everything until it works, right? I mean, it was everything that we've ever gotten out of has been from me either throwing my body into something or breaking something. I want to go over to the sarcophagus and I'm just gonna writhe around in the dark and see if I can grab any amulets, tokens, anything that would be buried with it or next to it to maybe signify something that feels familiar. Just because I'm curious, why did that open that?
Okay. Go ahead and make a investigation check at disadvantage.
I'm gonna investigate the shit out of this thing. Let's go. And let me ditch that again. Wow.
That's a 2, a 1, and you rolled 3 times.
I'm an idiot. The 2 and the 1. Count those 2.
2 and a 1. You're reaching
Correct.
around,
Just grab this
and
thing's femur.
your giant Goliath fist does find purchase on something if you wanted to grab it.
I grab it.
Okay.
I grab it and then run in the direction of the torchlight.
Okay.
You're not
Um,
looking at what it is. You're just gonna grab it and bring it
It's,
immediately over
it's
to
dark.
me.
I can't see. You're walking into the light.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm behind by the sarcophagus. I'm in the dark, just writhing around in a sarcophagus, just
I
beating
just
the
imagine
body
you
up with
grab
my
something
giant
bad and you're like,
hands.
"What is this?" And you like shove it in my face.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, I run up to Wisp with the torchlight and be like, "I took this from it. Here, look at it." And I open
I'll
up my
move
hands. What?
the torch over
it's
so I can grab
it's like a forearm and a hand, like wrapped in like dirty mummified cloth. The thing you notice is there's actually a ring on it on the middle finger.
All right. I say,
No.
I'm like, I look at the hand after I look at the discovery after like 2 and 2 puts together. I was like,
Oh, I thought this was a dagger of some sort. Hey, there's a ring.
and I point like the finger as it like flops over at Wisp.
Take it.
This is a bit more formal than I was expecting. And she'll take the ring delicately off the finger and
Okay.
like hold
I
it
would
and put
admit-
it into his hand.
I would marry you in the light. Wouldn't do it out here in this damn cave. It's tradition in my clan to do so. The gods to see.
He takes the ring. Can I observe it and like spin it around and see what see if it has like any insignia or maybe the writing, if there's any writing on it, like what the rune has on the door.
Yeah, so you kind of look at it, and then from behind you hear a heavy breathing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You see so it is a diamond shape. So the ring has like a diamond shape set into it. It doesn't look like there's any sort of jewel, but you see a symbol etched into it, and you've seen this symbol before somewhere, not on the door, but you've seen it somewhere.
Okay.
Is he looking at it so that I can see it as well? Like, did you take it and move, or are you still in the torchlight with me?
No, I'm still on the torchlight. I can't see
Then I'm
shit without
gonna-
that torchlight.
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna
I'm
I'm gonna kind of come in with you and look at it. Do
Yeah, we can
I
just, like-
recognize? Yeah, do I recognize the symbol?
Both of you roll just a straight intelligence check. So it can be your intelligence saving throw, essentially.
8.
15.
15. Knock. You're kind of looking at it. You kind of look up at Wisp and Kimura, look down at it. And then you look back up at Kimura. And you notice she's wearing a pauldron that she's had. And it's the same symbol that's on her pauldron.
Shitty titty.
What did you find?
Character, I instantly start crying.
Nock looks at it and then looks back up at her and says,
Did you have family in Vedranis?
No.
Did any of your warriors, your military, did they come to Vedranis?
Well, the Onyx Legion was based here in Vedranis. Why do you ask these things? She
Nock
hasn't
then-
seen. Yeah, she hasn't seen the ring.
Yeah, Nock then points the ring to her and goes and then just jousts it at her and shows her like the symbol.
Where did you find this? And she snatches it out of your hand.
Nock
Rouse back and says, I found it off of the sarcophagus after you decided to go ahead and not figure out what the hell was wrong with the damn door. I thought if anything it might be useful to go ahead and take a look.
I was looking myself. And she kind of shoves past you and beelines it for the sarcophagus.
like back at,
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
As this goes on, I want to go to the sarcophagus that was next to that one, and I want to try to shimmy off the top.
Okay. Relatively easily, I'd say you're able to
I'll
And I
shimmy the shit out of it.
immediately want to look at the hands of whatever's inside.
Okay. It's pretty dark. I guess you have your torch now.
Mhm.
You're not seeing any other adornments on
Okay. Okay.
on it. But you see Kimura reaches into the... She kind of grabs the body and tries to take a look. Shit. Kind of looks around, stuffs the ring in her bag, and she grabs something else. And you're not quite sure what, because it's a little too far in the darkness. You see her put it in her bag as well, and she stands up. Right. We should keep moving.
Knock is at the doorway, and he says,
No. You have to go ahead and answer some questions, Kimura. Who are all these people? And why is it so damn important to you?
And why do you keep secrets from us?
We just lost 2 of ourselves up there.
I'm not keeping secrets. I've told you that I used to be part of the Onyx Legion.
No. I'm talking about earlier. The stone.
We had a
This
bartering
is a
ship.
secret you can keep. This is your person. And I point to the ring in her bag. But that cost us 2 lives.
You don't think I don't realize that now?
Doubting the fact that you can't accept reality. We're doubting the fact that you lack the strategy. We had options. Multiple. And now we're down here, and I throw a body halfway across a room, and now it seems to be someone who is important to you as if he was a dying uncle. And a door that just released something. And you know nothing about.
We're not asking you to divulge all of your secrets. We're not asking you to tell us a thing. We just want to know that if it is our neck or yours on the line, we would all do the same thing to save everyone. Not just you. It's not just all of us by ourselves together anymore. We are all here. We are all expendable. With or without the rest of us. If you want to be a part of the group, if you want to lead, then lead.
That is precisely what I've been trying to do.
At this point, we can't take trying anymore. And she'll walk past her.
Then perhaps you two should try a little bit harder, she says under her breath as she kind of follows him.
Knock is waiting by the doorway as he sees both that spat go down, and acknowledges the presence of Wisp as she walks by, and looks towards Kimura, and turns to walk as well into this long corridor.
As you guys continue, with your torchlight, you're able to see you seem to have entered an older part of this mausoleum or this crypt. As you feel yourself begin to descend downward, ever so slightly, the hallways aren't straight and narrow as they have been. They're winding, they take sharp turns and corners. It's almost like you've almost entered into a little bit of a maze. And as you walk for a little bit, you come to a junction where you can either continue going straight or makes its way right.
Can I look towards the floor and see if there's any footprints or drag marks or anything else leading to one way or another?
Give me a survival check
I'm gonna survive the shit out of this.
at disadvantage.
Blick! Blick!
10. As you kind of look around, there's a layer of dust that just kind of coalesces. Like, it's almost it's like this dust or whatever it is just kind of hovering, as you know, just old rank air. And you can see footprints in the dust, scratch marks and things like that in this dust, but you're not sure. They're going in each direction. They're not giving you a clear sign of which way they've been going.
Right. Nock looks to Kimura.
Is this how they buried your dead? Deep, deep underground.
I have no idea what this place is. Why there's one of the Legion buried here, I don't know.
Nock kind of
Stop
looks
making assumptions.
Just asking questions. Which way are we going? Do not sense anything from either direction.
Kind of sits there and looks straight ahead and to the right. To the right, I suppose.
When she says that, can I put my ear to the ground where we, like, on the threshold a little bit further, maybe 5 feet into that threshold past where we would turn to the right? Can I, like, kind of go there and put my ear to the ground and see if I feel or hear anything in that direction versus going the way that we are going? Wisp is just curious. It's just a curious thing.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
It's a 16.
16. Give me just a second.
Yeah.
the song
She
Good
just wants,
Vibrations.
yeah, she wants to see if she can feel or see if there's anything discerning, because it looks like there's things going in both directions, but she just wants to see if, like, she can ascertain something of size or distance based on the vibration.
It's pretty quiet. Let me see. Just looking over my notes really quick.
Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, she's just kind of like, Wisp has never really been in what would ascertain as a dungeon. The closest thing that she had to an experience of a dungeon or anything underground this far was her training temple. But that only went down maybe 1 or 2 levels. So she's definitely, like, a little uncomfortable, a little uneasy, trying to get her bearings as much as possible. And this is just kind of one of those things that she feels, she's like, maybe if I just figure out what's where and how far down we are, like, because she doesn't know if this is just a floor and it keeps going down or what. So she's just, I think it's just her way of trying to gain some grounding.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah, and as you're putting your ear to the ground, there's not much other than this stillness, this quiet. It's extraordinarily quiet.
She'll get up And she'll kind of just dust herself off, put herself back into order, and just take another, like, anxious look around. She's trying very much not to show that she's uncomfortable, but she's starting to become uncomfortable. And she'll kind of just turn with the torch, and if they've started walking, follow them.
Okay. As you stand up and bring the torchlight around, you kind of get a glimpse of this cobblestone, and your eye, you catch something with your eye. You see strange symbols that have been engraved every so often into the stone. Some of them pretty faded. Some of them look
Do
a
any
little
of
bit
them look like
newer.
what I saw before we came down here? That spider in the corner. Is anything reminiscent? Does it look like they're the same style, maybe done by the same person?
Give me an investigation check.
Yeah, because I'm gonna like. So she moves the torch to walk, and she kind of notices these glyphs, and now she's like trying to find a weird stone to like prop herself up on the wall as she's like grabbing another one to get closer and like look at these, like still holding the torch, so it's like pressed against the stone and it's uncomfortable, and she's trying to figure it out
Okay.
as she's getting closer and investigating it. That's a 12.
12. You're not seeing the same symbol anywhere here.
Okay.
Nothing really catching your eye. It's hard to discern any of these. They're very weird. Nothing like you've seen before.
Hold on, come back. And she'll like wave for the other two to come back, and she'll put the torch up. And do you see? I don't know what they mean. When I was pounding at the door up there with Halifax, before things moved too fast, there was a symbol in the corner of the door. An intricate web of some sort. There was a center and had circles. The circle had 3 circles and what looked like 8 legs, like a spider. But these don't look the same. Do you know what they mean? Either of you.
Nock wants to look at them as well. Do they recognize them from anywhere?
Give me an investigation check as well.
At disadvantage.
At disadvantage. A 4.
Fuck
Nothing.
Me. All right.
I've seen the cave paintings, much art in the mountains, but none that look similar to these glyphs.
All right then. She'll take her paper, and she's gonna take just a small stone. Like, it doesn't even matter if it's like charcoal. Actually, no. She'll tap the torch on the ground to release some charcoal, and
Okay.
she'll smudge her whole hand in it, put the paper up, and she's gonna smudge over the glyphs to try and just get at least a little bit of a relief so that she can maybe look at this later or see if she can ascertain what it is later.
Okay. And the one that you do this with, what it is it's a cylindrical depression, but around it are these more intricate carvings that it almost looks like from this center, it almost looks like kind of like an optical illusion when you're like staring. It looks like you're staring down into the circle.
Yeah.
But around it
okay.
are they almost like they're little smaller like pricks of
Is
like
it kind of what you would describe like when you close your eyes and all those shapes kind of start moving? It's just like a conglomeration of shapes that kind of form some sort of picture that I don't understand what it means.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it kind of like there's a weird like as you look at it and as you're kind of etching it over, you get like your head, you start to get like a little headache. Like you almost like start looking at this the center of this glyph a little too long, like almost like you can't pull your eyes from it for some weird reason. It's not like you have to make a check or anything to pull away from it, but it's just like it keeps you looking for a little bit longer than you would normally have thought to focus
Okay,
on
so
it.
she's like staring at it and like doing this relief, and she brushes away some of the excess charcoal. She takes it down. She starts to look at it. She stares at the paper and then and you can see like she's kind of bringing the paper close to her, and then she moves to look at the stone, and you see her like moving in with the paper and the stone like kind of getting drawn into it, and she blinks a time or two and just kind of has like shakes her head a little bit and is just like just takes a small quick mental note of that, and then we'll take another piece of paper to put on top of that one and then fold them together so it doesn't smudge, and she'll put it in her bag.
I think as soon as this happens is when you hear something for the first time, which is echoing through the chambers of this hall. You hear a voice, but you don't see anything. And you hear this deep, rumbling voice which says, like that, and laughs in sort of an evil way. And it says, "Who is this who enters the domain of Jaraxius, the devourer of hope, and the servant of the Lord of the Pit? What are your names?"
Knock immediately like whips around, looks around in every single direction, and he looks, whispers to Wisp.
I'm just gonna say, there's another weirdest thing that's happened to us in the past 24 hours. I am Nock, Seeker of Glory, hailing from the Garcaean Mountains, the Thunakalathi clan. That who beckons.
I am Wisp of the Ikuhara Shrine. One of this group.
Captain
Knock.
Kimura Thunderthorn.
All of you trespass on my domain. I walk these halls, looking for freedom for my master. You will come to my aid. And I think at the end of the hall, you see this like pair of glowing red eyes sort of materialize out of nothingness. And then as the figure fades into view, you see a tiny, tiny imp who is flapping these little bat wings, flying in the middle of the air, and sort of mismatched with the voice. He says, "I will present you to my lord, the Lord of the Pit, Marcoris, and he will decide your fate."
Listen here, you fly, you're not introducing nothing to no one. Who the... First off, we didn't come in here because we wanted to. We're forced. I'm not sure who the hell your master is, but if it's that giant gray fella up there with the damn tentacle mouth, then we ain't having a talk with Daddy.
No, I am no servant of any creature such as this. I have told you I serve Marcoris, the Lord of the Pit.
You're the shepherd in the hallways to this pit?
I am his administrative assistant.
I demand to speak to the secretary.
Knock looks to Wisp.
Speak to your manager.
To Wisp and Kimura, and says,
Do we act like sheep?
Maybe if we make friends, he can let us out. This thing doesn't seem to be too powerful. If it leads us astray, we just dispose of it.
Knock kind of like looks to whisper that sentence, and just from her delivery of that.
All right. Fine. I like that idea. All right. Imp, what did you say your
I have a
name
name. I am Jaraxius, the Devourer of Hope.
Daraxius, Devourer
Yes.
of Hope. Nock, Seeker of Glory.
Yes.
We will allow you to shepherd us to your so-called pit. I hope that you do not mind being berated by conversation on our journey.
I will tell you all I know. Come with me, Nak of the Kudakalati clan.
Hmm.
And
Comanches.
others. And he looks whisper. And he says, I have roamed these halls for 2 of your mortal days. And I will show you all that I have found. And then he leads. I think the first thing he'll do is he'll lead you up to the. Is it north? Lacuna, is that right? He's going to that door.
The door
Well, a door.
or a door? Okay.
We're at that T intersection, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys see as this little imp just begins flying back towards the hall, and takes the right turn that Kimura wanted to take originally.
Mhm.
And you guys travel down this hallway for a good, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It's not that long of a journey. And all the way with your torchlight and whatnot, you can see more of these alcoves with more of these sarcophagi and whatnot in this place, until eventually you are led to a door in which he had told you. And what you see is a wooden iron wrought door that has a lock on it. And he kind of presents this door to you.
I present this door to you. It is unremarkable in many ways, and yet I am not strong enough to open it. Now come with me and I will show you one other point of interest. And he goes in the other direction. Laughing.
Wait, hold on. The only reason why you haven't been through this door is because you lack the strength to open it.
I have strengths you know not, Goliath. But
Excuse
no, I
me.
cannot open this door.
All right. Listen, before you take us to wherever the hell you're taking us, why were you down this hall? Why were you locked beyond these doors?
I was traveling with my master. When we arrived here, we were separated, and he points somewhere to his east, like away from Tentacle Face's room, like, you know what I mean? And points in that direction. He's like, my master is somewhere in that direction. He is able to communicate with me, and yet I cannot reach him.
All right.
If we find your master, will you help us get out of here?
If you find my master, you will be lucky if he lets you live. He is ruthless and unwavering.
Nock reaches over towards the imp to try to grapple him, but to grapple him by the
Stop
wings.
it. No, I don't like that.
He goes,
Listen here, you little bastard. All right? We're gonna help you. All right? You're gonna help us.
Yeah, no. And he has this little scorpion tail. And so he's gonna try to sting Nock with the tiny scorpion tail.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack.
Okay. That is an 18 to hit.
No. Yeah, it's.
Oh shit, that does max damage. So never mind, he doesn't do that. It's not lethal. I don't want to kill Nock.
You take 20 points of you take 7 points of piercing damage and 13 points of poison damage. Just this little imp just jabs you in the arm. And I believe you need to make a Constitution.
He has to make a con save. He only gets the poison damage if he fails.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, you take.
And the con save
points.
is 11. So
go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Well,
that will succeed. So you only take 6 points of poison damage.
oh, thank the
no,
Lord.
no. He takes
Or is it?
7 points of piercing. But if you have resistance to piercing or anything,
Yeah. So yeah, you take the 7 points of piercing and then half of the poison damage, which was 13. So you take 6
Okay.
because you
Right,
passed your
I'm
saving throw.
Okay.
So he pokes you and he goes, "Ha ha ha! I have triumphed over you, large mortal."
He's like, oh, God, the situation's different, you little bastard. It's fine, it's fine.
Now come with me and I will show you what I want to show you.
Nock just like waits for the rest of the party to move with the imp, and he's just shaking his hand in the back. He's,
I'm like slightly impressed by this imp, but also very, very wary of what the hell is going on. But I will follow.
And so he leads them down to that other point of interest, Cole, if you want to like describe what that is.
Yeah, so you guys turn back around the way you came, and then you soon find yourself at that little fork that you were at, and then you continue the straightaway head, which takes you about a minute to get to, and
It's not long.
whereupon it's not long at all. This imp's domain is not large. It's not great, but it's his domain regardless. So he says. But the interesting thing you see at the end of this hallway, there's a dead end, but you see a giant stone skull, maybe 20 feet in height and about 10 feet in width. And its mouth is ajar. And
he
inside
points
you
to
just see
it.
darkness.
And he says, "I do not know what this is, but it looks very cool. I have studied it and have not found anything interesting about it."
What the hell is inside of its mouth?
"You look for yourself. Once you heal your hand."
I'll hand the torch to Nock. Like I'll extend the torch out to Nock because I'm not gonna go. I'm not getting any closer to it.
Nock grabs the
I'll give it
torch,
to him.
but he kind of leans into Wisp as well and goes,
When we get out of here, that's replacing my damn hand as a trophy.
and he just starts walking over towards it, and he leans the torch just so he can see, not walking like inside of it, but he wants to just see like if there's anything. The mouth is ajar. Was it a? I guess what I'm trying to observe, is there any sign of it being a prison?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me. And anybody else is looking. I think Kimura will as well. You're at disadvantage, my good Sir Nock, unfortunately.
Oh, thank God.
16, and then Kimura got a 10. So what you see, it doesn't look like you're looking to see if it was like a prison, you said?
Yeah, like if it was meant to hold anything, like it's like in like gem encasing or kind of residue. Is there were there bars or anything else of that retract nature? Anything of the sort? Anything that would scream that this was a prison for something very specific?
Not a prison, but you feel the back of like the wall or the skull or whatever. And what you see is it almost looks like a giant like stone femur or something that is stretched across the back end of this wall.
A stone, a femur? Like
It
of
looks
a
like a
bone.
giant stone bone.
Just a big old bone.
Just a big old stone bone.
He turns and looks at the party and goes,
I think there's a doghouse.
It's like, sorry, I guess I should describe more. It's like pressed up against the wall. It's like fastened to the wall.
it's fastened to the wall.
Yeah, so it's like built in. It's almost like carved out of the stone. It seems like.
So Nock yells out that he thinks it's a doghouse, and then walks over with a torch to hand back to Wisp and says,
There's a giant bone fastened to the wall inside of the mouth of the skull. Nothing beyond it.
Can you lift it? Is it a lever?
You want me to get inside of the mouth of that?
No, I'm
Are
just
you
seeing
afraid, mortal?
I think you're smaller. And she turns to the imp.
Said I think you would fit very nicely inside of there to lift that up. I mean, as strong as mighty as you are, that tail packs a lot of punch. I can imagine what those arms do.
Yes. Yes, I am strong. And he'll fly in there and try to lift it up.
Okay, go ahead and have Jaraxius make a strength check,
Okay.
an athletics check.
Well, athletics, I mean.
Right.
That is... Oh, he rolls a 19, so that's a 17 total.
pick that shit up.
So let me take a look.
If he had advantage, it would be a crit.
You see, as he's lifting like from his behind, and you see his wings kind of flap really hard. You see his little baby imp muscles go like pop a little bit, and there's no movement.
I have done it. It will not move.
Well, that solves that then.
He flies out and he sort of sits in one of the eye sockets.
I could try to lift it.
The east side is technically his person is over in this direction, right?
He would tell you that he's somewhere beyond that door now. Beyond that
door.
skull, if that is a
Beyond-
door. He's
okay.
like that way.
All right, knock. Can we observe the room? I want to look around the room and see if there's anything indistinguishable, those signs or glyphs that maybe were around the hallways. Is there anything on the skull? Any abnormalities of any sort?
So you're looking on the outside of the skull, or 'cause you're in
yeah,
a hallway that like the skull is like built into the wall almost. It seems like.
Yeah, I'm gonna look around the skull. Look around to see if I see anything.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check
Indeed.
at disadvantage.
Indeed.
9.
9.
It's just a stone skull.
Mother of God. All right. I swear to God, this thing bites my arm off.
Kimura kind of sighs. Perhaps, Nock, you should try to lift the bone instead of something that's 5 times smaller than you.
You know what? I'm having a real hard time trusting things. Come on.
I
Real
told
hard
him
time.
that.
He is afraid because he is afraid of the dark like a child. And he comes down and like lands on your belt and touches one of your tokens and casts light on it. And there. Stop your crying, Nock.
I'll go up and like take the torch. I'll try to take the torch out of Nock's hand after that happens. Just be
Okay.
like, thanks.
But knock like out of frustration as he just after saying what he said to Kimura, and now his belt's now glowing. He's like, "Roar," he's just slapping at his like trophies like to make it go out. And he reaches inside of the skull and grabs the thing and pull like as like one swift action grab and pulls it.
Okay. Go ahead and make an athletics check at disadvantage.
And how? Mother of God.
You pull, and you hear like the sound of stone grinding on stone, but it doesn't come loose. It moves the smallest amounts.
Does a jar skull mouth move at all?
It lowers just a little bit.
Mm.
Like the mouth of it lowers just a little bit.
Like it's like it's the whole jar, the whole thing's trying to close.
Yeah, but you also notice that the wall behind that bone moved as well.
Which direction did the ball move?
Up.
Okay. So like the mouth is closing, but the wall behind it is moving up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to walk up to Knock behind him and just say, can you stand just somewhat close? I'll help. And I will go do the same thing.
Okay. So you guys kind of all step in. Go ahead and Wisp, roll me an athletics check. 14. As you kind of lift, Kimura comes up and tries to help you as well. Go ahead and roll one more time at advantage. She's gonna actually help you. 17. Okay. So you guys begin to lift, and you see this essentially this like stone femur begins to like open, like kind of go this way, kind of swing up, and as it does, the mouth of the skull, you hear the grinding of stone, and it begins to close behind you. But then the wall in front of you opens up, allowing you passage to move through.
We have
And
solved your skull wall puzzle.
Now get moving, imp. You have a new domain.
My domain has merely expanded.
and as we look to see what's in this room, we were going to take our break for the evening. It is perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Thank you, everybody, so much for hanging out tonight. By the way, we love having you guys. Hope you guys have been enjoying. We'll be back in about 7 to 10 minutes. Go ahead and grab a drink, grab a snack, use the restroom, and we will see you in just a moment. See you guys. And welcome back. So, what you all see in this room, or what you can see from the your torchlight and things like that, is a small square room, probably 35 feet by 35 feet. It's a small little chamber, and what you can see with your torchlight is urns every 5 feet lining these walls. At the front, you can see a door that is off to the left in the corner, and then straight ahead of you, you see a sarcophagus that is broken and destroyed.
It's broken and destroyed. We talking like pop out of the earth like Daisy's destroyed, or we talking just like decimated?
You can see rubble on the ground, and it looks like maybe half of the lid is still intact. The other half is lying in chunks and rubble on the ground next to it.
Nock looks at the imp.
Do I get a sense, or does Jaraxius get a sense of, like, from this positioning, like, where his master is in relation to where he is now? Knowing that the master can see through his eyes, you know, and...
It's kind of tough to tell.
Sure, okay.
Jaraxius has never seen this room before. This is new to him. This new domain is unfamiliar territory.
My expanded domain.
Yeah, you have to explore your domain a little bit to fully know what your domain is. But
Right.
The word of the day is domain.
He is going to turn to these three strangers and say, Do not be alarmed. You will not see me in a moment. It's only so I can scout more effectively. And he bamps invisible. And he's going to fly around the room just to see, see what he can see. Check out, like, hover above that sarcophagus, see if there's anything down there.
Okay. Go ahead and have Jaraxius make a perception check. And what are the rest of you guys doing at this point?
I am kind of I have that paper like in my satchel, but not very like it's not out. But every once in a while I'll like look down at the satchel and kind of like look up at the walls. I'm watching to see if there's any more glyphs as we're walking.
Okay. And you're carrying the torch now?
Yes, I am back to carrying the torch.
Okay. You see in this room very similar etchings engraved into the walls here.
Okay.
Um,
So during this, kind of just like haphazardly, I'll take that piece of paper back out that had the relief, and I'll take out just like one of my quills, my pens very quickly, and I'm gonna just try and like doodle them like mindlessly as we're walking. Just
okay.
that's what I'm doing.
Jaraxius perceives with 9.
9.
A 9.
And what was Jaraxius looking for again?
He is going to. This is a square room, right?
Yes.
So he is going to fly upward to like the center high point of the room just to like look around. He's looking for anything that's moving or anything curious in the rubble.
Okay. Let me check real quick. You said you rolled a 9, yes?
Yeah, but it's a gentleman's 9.
It's a gentleman's 9.
A gentleman's 9.
So
A gentle imp's 9.
Not a scholarman's 8.
No.
Indeed.
Jaraxius, as you're kind of hovering about invisibly, kind of doing like a little sentry motion looking around, your eyes glance over to the door in the left corner, which is, from what he can see, another very old wrought iron door. The thing that catches Jaraxius' eye, though, is there's a little bit of shadow kind of forming around the door.
Oh.
And Jaraxius swears that the shadow moves.
At that moment, Jaraxius' master is going to detect magic through his eyes.
Okay, do you want to read Detect Magic? Or...
I would love to read Detect Magic. So here's the deal about Detect Magic is, without giving too much away about this character, is that they have an Eldritch invocation that allows them to detect magic always. So he always has the magic eyes going. But I sense the presence of magic within 30 feet. I can use my action to see a faint aura around anything that bears magic, and I learn its school of magic, if any. It can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by a foot of stone, an inch of metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
Okay. From within the urns that are next to this sarcophagus, you are detecting some magic.
Okay. I suddenly and abrasively, Jaraxius pops back into view, and he shouts, "There is a shadow by that door, and those urns contain magic. Be cautious." What kind of magic am I getting from the urns? Is there a school or?
Let me look really quick.
What Jaraxius wants to know is magic fun time treasures or kill you things. That's what he really wants to know.
Very much fun time, I'll say. Okay. That's the school of magic, the school of fun.
Okay. He says, "The treasures within those urns can power us, can make us stronger. I will bring them to my master. Goliath, smash those urns."
Oh, hold on. First we have one captain, and now we have an imp that's a captain. Let me do the damn leader chaperone.
Knock
And
looks
also the
towards
shadow
end.
around the door. Everyone be careful of that.
Knock kind of like shrugs. He looks to the group and like shrugs and goes,
Smashing got us this far, did it not?
grabs like two of the urns, like both his arms, and just like stands with them, and then just lets him break at his feet.
That's gonna feel
Okay.
good.
Looks down
Um,
immediately.
So what you see is several things kind of roll out. You hear glass rolling, and what you see are it looks like 2 potions of healing in the glass. You see some red liquid within this glass, and then you see a piece of parchment rolled up, and you see a couple jewels of some sort. If you wanted to investigate those further
He
as well.
smashes these urns and smashes all of the healing potions.
Whoops.
Sorry, I was just like, oops.
If I were mean, I would say yes, but
So I'm not gonna lie, my toes, they're feeling really good right now.
That is like heal the healing potions. Little wriggly,
Healthy
tiggly
toes.
Goliath toes. I'm going to reach. I don't even reach to the red liquids and whatnot. I just reach for the gems and pick those
Okay.
up first.
so what you see are 2 bronze crowns that look old, but like they would be worth quite a bit of money. Money.
Monet. Mm.
You also see a gold ring that is inset with bloodstones.
Any magic on those?
No magic on those, but they look
What is
very
it?
expensive. And then you also see, kind of wrapped within the other urn, is a silk robe with gold embroidery. All of these things look very old but expensive and very nice. Like you could probably get a decent amount of money out of them. You're not quite sure which. If you wanted to, you could try to guesstimate if you really wanted to. But
Yeah, no, Nock grabs the gems and kind of like jiggles around his hand as they bounce around, and then he just puts them in one of his hide sacks that he has on his on himself, and then picks up the silk robe, and then looks to Wisp and then Joust, and then as he like walks by to hand it to her, he wants to just keep walking over towards the urns.
I'll take the silk robe as he hands it to me, and I'll kind of like hold it outwards and kind of like assess it. You said it's a silk robe with gold trim.
yeah, mhm.
Do do I recognize like anything about it, or does it just look like a silk robe to me?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Cool. See if it has somebody's name written on the tag, you know. The whole
Yeah.
9 yards.
No name on the tag. Actually, unfortunately, the tag's missing.
Yeah, I got an
Oh,
8.
no.
I can't even
Nah.
find the tag.
Lost its
You're like,
value.
where is the? Did they put the?
How are we gonna
tags
know how to
back
wash
then?
it?
I know.
Yeah, I don't know how to wash this now.
It smells like mothballs.
Oh.
No, and like old people. Ew.
But the nice thing
Oh.
is, you think you could probably. It's probably very valuable. Is
Oh,
the only
okay.
thing you could really get
Well,
off of that.
she has no idea. So at this point, she's just gonna take off her robe, or the cloak that she's wearing, and she's gonna like put it on and just kind of see how it fits and just see if it does anything, because she has no idea what this is.
Okay.
She's how
Um,
good does she look in this robe?
10.
I
Nock
would
turns
say.
around.
Oh, good.
That's all I want to know. How good does it
According
look?
to Knock, a 10.
Cool. Yeah. No. She'll kind of do like one of those, like, it's not elegant, but it's like awkward kid T pose, like spin. But she just kind of like puts it on and like shows everybody that this is what it is, and then she's like, looks to everybody, and she feels weird for a second and just starts to take it off and put her cloak back on. And just kind of holds it.
I know
Um,
that stance way too well. Oversized kid, like one of my shirts on my kids. And that's
Yeah.
Yeah. What is Kimura doing right now?
relatable.
She's unmuting herself. That's what she's doing. She is just sitting. She's a bit pissed off. Not pissed off. She's inwardly sulking a little bit after the comment that Wisp made earlier. But if you kind of figure out what she's thinking about just based on facial expressions, you can tell she's trying to process something. Like she's really trying to process something, like really trying to figure something out in her head. She's very in herself right now.
Okay. And then also Jiraxius,
Yes.
as you're kind of keeping an eye out,
He is mostly concerned about that shadow by the door.
you see it move away from the door.
Okay. Which
Almost
way is it
like
going?
there's like kind of like how like when sunlight moves, like the shadows move. That's kind of like that, but there's no sunlight in here.
Right. Right.
It is moving towards the sarcophagus, towards where
Oh.
Nock is.
Okay. He would watch it for a moment, just for a second. He'll think about, should I tell them about it? And then he says, "Attention, mortals! Something approaches the sarcophagus. It may intend you harm."
Nock looks up after that and assesses the shadows. How many urns are there, DM, in the room?
So there were the two or three that were in front of the sarcophagus that you broke, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 6 more aligning the walls. There's 3 on each side.
All right. Can I see the shadow at this point?
Make a perception check
Yeah.
at disadvantage.
No.
Oh,
Wow.
12.
Wow. Weird.
You look at the wall and you do see the shadow kind of move across the wall, and then you see it drop down to the floor and begin making its way towards you.
Oh, goody.
All of a sudden, the shadow begins moving upward, almost growing. Not as tall as you. And then through the light that's shining up, you can see this shadow forms, like vaguely forms in a, like it has a humanoid form, and you can just hear the and it's gonna reach out and try to attack you.
Ooh.
Let me turn on the combat music.
Les combats musique.
We are going to actually just roll initiative now, since you did pass the perception check. And then I will say really quick before I move you over, Kimura and Wisp, you hear, and then you hear a voice say, "I must continue my work," from behind you. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Initiative.
Okay.
Would this also be a disadvantage?
I don't know, actually. I don't know if your initiative rolls would be at
Isn't it? Yeah.
disadvantage. It's
It's
I'm gonna-
technically an ability check, isn't it?
I don't know. That's the thing. I will say just
no,
roll
yeah.
it normally. I'll say roll it
True,
normally.
true.
For now, it's fine.
Play the bird.
Chat is saying it is.
I'm doing a quick Google that says yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Okay, so go ahead and roll at disadvantage.
Not
That would be a 6 overall, then, my
6.
friend, not a 10. So,
Okay,
yeah.
and then Kimura got a 6 as well, it looks like.
Thank you,
No
chat, by the way.
bueno. No bueno.
Thank you, guys. I need to add little Jiraxius.
Not good
Yeah,
at
can
all.
you give me
Order.
control over that token too?
I sure can. You rolled a 14. Controlled by all players. Who am I missing? Wisp rolled a. Where did?
I got
did
a
you
22.
roll? 22.
I don't
okay.
know.
Oh,
yeah,
you're
I don't know
clear
if
there.
it. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Why is it showing you like invisible? Can you see yourself on the?
It just says you wanted to send the results of this roll to the turn tracker, but no valid token was selected.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Can you see yourself on the turn order though?
Yeah.
Because for me it's like.
No, I don't see. I only
See-through?
see the deathlock. and jar access.
Okay.
That's me.
I don't
just-
see any
you're
of our
on.
characters.
Let me delete you and re-add you
Okay,
really
cool, no
quick.
problem.
And you should be able to see yourself now. And you said you rolled a 22.
Yes.
Can you
yeah,
see
I
yourself
it.
now?
Yep. I just see
Okay.
myself now, but I
Perfect.
don't see Kimura and I don't see Knock on there.
Yeah, I am not.
They're at the
on there.
very bottom. Let me
don't see
just
them.
re-add everybody.
Okay.
Let's just give this a retry
yes, no.
here.
Sorry.
No, that's my bad. You guys,
We did.
Okay,
now.
I see them now.
Yeah,
I
Can
see
everybody
them now.
see everybody now?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna throw that imp so hard at this fucking black thing. Oh my god. Yeet.
Make sure you
Yeet.
lead with the tail.
No.
But
Javelin.
Wisp, it is your turn.
Okay, so I would like to turn behind me and see what the hell is behind me. If I'm hearing stuff.
You don't see anything.
Okay.
You don't see anything behind you at the moment.
Okay, well then let's just jump it 5, 10, 15 feet. I'm gonna move right over to where I see this thing kind of pop up next to our good buddy Knock there, and I'm gonna hit it.
Okay.
Yeah,
with
hit
my
that
quarter
shit.
staff. I'm gonna hit it. Let's go.
Hit it.
I'm so sorry. Nope. I want to go to actions. I'm so sorry. Okay. Quarter staff. Oh my god, it's +7 to hit now. I feel so strong. Is that a 16? Does that hit?
16 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
So this, I didn't say it beforehand, so it'll be a one-handed hit. So basically, this is just her kind of like in the heat of the moment going over, and I'm just kind of with my one arm extending, so I don't have to get too close.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna just kind of like jab at it to get its attention. Ooh,
Okay,
and I
perfect.
crit with one hand. That's 10 points of damage.
10 points. And your staff is magical, I believe, right?
No, it is not.
Or is it? It is not. Okay.
It is
So
not.
as you hit it, it finds purchase, but it almost kind of goes through the shadow. It doesn't do as much damage as you would like it
This
to.
is when I need my ghost fists.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. She's still gonna, she sees it and kind of notices it, but she doesn't pay much attention to it. She's going to kind of like, with that hand that she just jabbed with, she's going to take her quarterstaff and kind of flip it down her shoulders and grab it with the other hand. And while she's doing that, she's going to elbow the deathlock.
Okay.
Either or.
Perfect. Go ahead and make an unarmed strike.
That's 18.
18 does hit.
And that is 8 points of damage.
All right.
And then I'm going to spend a key point to do patient effects.
Alrighty. And is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Alrighty. It is the shadow's turn, and it's still facing you, Knock, and is going to reach out at you and try to attack you. That's a 15 to hit.
That'll be a big old hit-o.
All right. You take 7 points of necrotic damage
Boy.
as you begin to feel your body becoming weak. Your strength score goes down by 4. So your actual strength score will go down by 4. As you feel just the energy and everything just begin to lose itself, being drained from this creature.
Oh boy. And you see almost like I shrivel like a raisin. Knox gets hit by, he's like, there's a growl.
And then, as a bonus action, this thing is going to try to meld back into the darkness. It will, both of Wisp and Knock will get attacks of opportunity as it tries to hide.
Dope.
So you both can roll.
Yeah, rolly.
Okay, here we go. That is a fail. That makes me so sad because I have Sentinel, so I could have froze it.
All right, so that's an 8 and a 7. So both of the attacks miss, and this thing just disappears into the shadows outside of your torchlight.
Oh boy.
Is he done? Is he done?
It is. He is done. Draxius, our new.
Draxius is going to detect magic into gear here. sort of like combined with his devil's sight to make sure he can see through any sort of darkness at all.
Okay.
And try to locate this thing. Would you like a perception or?
Yes, please.
Okay. I shall roll you one. 13.
13. Draxus is kind of looking around. Unfortunately, cannot see just because of all the shadows. It's kind of messing with his dark vision a little bit. Is unable to see.
Mortals, you are in the way of my vision. I cannot find it.
Is that going to be his turn, or?
That's his turn. He just continues to float up near the ceiling.
Okay.
He's trying to be like sort of their eyes here in this situation.
Just heckles the hell out of us.
Yes, prepare to strike it when it appears. And that's the end of his turn.
All right. Kimura, from behind you in the corner, you see this dark red and almost blackish energy come shooting towards you.
Yeah.
That will be, let me see.
Yeah.
He does. Rolled a natural 20.
Of course.
Oh, this happened last week, for fuck's sake.
And what you see is this after this, it gets hit, you kind of look, and you see this cloaked figure, undead. You see its skull, like its skin kind of pushed up against its skull. As it shot what looks to be what you've come to learn is an eldritch blast at you. So you'll take the full brunt, so that's a d10 plus 10. That's 17 points of force damage. That just hits you in the chest.
Captain Crit Magnet at your service.
And you hear this thing say,
Fuck me.
I must continue Hadar's work. And then there's like a shudder as that word is spoken. Knock, it is your turn.
I knock after getting hit with all that madness, seeing Kimura get smacked by that Eldritch Blast. I'm going to go into my last and final rage, and I'm just going to. He just lets out a mighty roar and a growl, and I'm going to charge the Lich. I'm going to run 1, 2, 3. I only have 20 feet actually. DM, if I'm right here, can I go ahead and swing at the urns?
I mean, you can swing at those urns right there for sure.
All right, I'm going to not enough to shatter them, but side smack with my axe. I want to break both the urns.
With both your attacks?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you break both of them very easily. From the one just ahead of you, right here. Sorry, my color is off. Right here, you see coins just kind of spill out.
Okay. How about the second one?
It breaks into dust. You're not seeing anything.
Okay. I have my turn because I can only move that many spots. Actually,
right.
no. I have a third attack. Excuse me. I'm going to shoot the my firebolt at the undead boy.
Okay. Well, you've already used your attack to swing at these urns, so you wouldn't be able to cast your fire. Well, firebolt's a cantrip.
Yeah, I don't know how that works because technically you can cast a cantrip and a
Right.
spell. They just have to be
Yeah.
they just have to be of lesser value or something like that. So you can cast if you have a if it's a bonus.
It would have to be a bonus action
Yeah, it would have to
cantrip,
be a
which I
bonus
don't think
bonus
firebolt
cantrip
is.
and an action spell.
I think it's
That's
an
what it is.
action, so you wouldn't actually be able to cast your fireball or your
All right,
firebolt.
well, then screw that then. Yeah. Well, then I'll go ahead and stop.
All right, Kimura, it is your turn.
So this thing's not visible, right?
He is now.
Oh.
He just barely became visible.
Where can I see them? Oh, it's the thing. It's the
This
yeah.
thing.
Okay. Okay, so this thing really hit me in the back, really. So I've got a I'm gonna stagger forward, by like 5 feet. I'll say Kamora's going to stagger forward. Yeah. Okay, she's gonna stagger forward, and she's gonna kind of draw a pistol, and start firing as soon as she can identify kind of where the issue is, essentially. So, and yeah, she's just gonna make a couple of shots, essentially. It's like the warlock equivalent of Eldritch Blast. I shoot my pistol. That's what I'm gonna do.
Right. Okay, go
Eldritch
ahead.
pistol.
And you said you're using your pistol, so go ahead and roll your first attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna sharpshooter this on both as well.
Okay, perfect. So -5.
Yes, here we go. We should be like, okay, go and go. I have no idea what that was because it's in the way. 19.
We're 24.
Yep, -5. That will hit.
Perfect. Okay, can I roll for the second one first before I roll the damage?
Sure. Yeah,
Yep,
that's fine.
cool. 10.
10 will miss, unfortunately. So the first one does hit.
Okay, perfect. We're gonna say that what happens is I got a lot of kickback in this pistol, and because I turned around quickly and did it, the kickback from the first one threw my second shot off. I fired them too quickly in quick succession. So we make the damage, and we get 23.
23. Okay, so you take the shot and it burrows itself into the chest, but just like you had fought Halifax not too long ago, it does not seem to stop this thing as much, and so it only takes a little bit of the damage. You said 23, so it takes 12.
Yeah. So is she visibly seeing this thing basically absorb and not really take much of the brunt of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she backs off and she kind of and she growls essentially, and she's like, "Fucking magic again!" And she starts backing up, knowing that this isn't going to go well. So she needs to separate herself from the situation.
As you do that, you see a shadow coalesce.
Oh my god!
It literally moved right next to Draxius, but then you moved out of it. It's going to take its attack of opportunity against you.
So, yeah, okay.
That's 7 to hit though, so I don't think that will hit you.
No.
So it misses. You see the shadow reach out and try to grab you. You're able to kind of dodge out of the way just in time, and get out of the way.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
All
I think we are.
For now. Is that your turn?
Yeah, it's my turn.
Okay. All right, Wisp, you are up next.
Okay, so seeing as I am, so now this thing just disappeared in front of me. I'm hearing everyone scream behind me. I turn around and see this thing. I have never seen something so horrifying in my life, but I'm intrigued at the same time. I am going to say 1, 2, 3 next to him. And I'm going to, as I'm running, I grab, so like I'm holding my staff with my right hand. She's going to flip it and catch it with both of them as she's running and go to like jab him kind of like in like the throat to chest area.
Okay,
And I will try to
perfect.
hit him with my cold staff with 2 hands. Nah, that's a crit. That's a crit. That's a crit.
Okay. So go ahead and
Okay.
roll
this
the
is a little
damage. So it'd
tricky.
be, yeah, let's see what it. So two-handed.
So two-handed, I got max damage.
Okay. So that's completely max. So you do a
Yeah.
D8. So
I do
that's
the 8.
16 points of damage.
16 points of damage.
Okay. So
And then
do-
so I want to do that. So I do that, and as I do that, I kind of hit him, and then I'm immediately going to take as I come down, I'm gonna knee him in like the solar plexus area. So I go down and then I like come up and I'm gonna knee him backwards and kind of try and just kind of get that momentum.
Okay. Yeah,
with
so you
that.
kind of like you jab him, and again, he doesn't look like he takes the full brunt of the damage. And then you kind of go in for your second attack.
and I miss it. I kind of am a little bit too hype. I kind of jump a little bit too far, too much, too quick. It doesn't land purchase too well.
He
With that,
blocks.
can
Yeah, I'd say
I was
he
gonna say,
blocks
can
it.
I stumble into him with that? So like, since I tried to knee him and it missed, I kind of like I want to like fall into him with that crit fail, basically.
Yeah, sure, because he kind of like blocks you.
Mhm.
Like, you see something that you haven't seen in the zombies and the skeletons that you have fought. You see intelligence here, and so as you
Okay.
go to knee, he brings up his arms like this and blocks your knee attack, and you kind of stumble.
Yeah, I want to
mhm.
like stumble into him and kind of just be like caught off guard by that moment of, oh shit, this is something that is smart.
Right.
And then I will spend another key point to do patient defense.
Okay. Perfect.
So she kind of like catches herself for a minute, and you see her just take another breath, and she resets. You can see her stance change, and she's just like looking at him.
Okay. It is the Shadow's turn. It is going to move behind you, Wisp, and it's going to try to reach out and grab you from behind as you've fallen into the Deathlock itself. So you have patient defense, so that gives you gives that disadvantage on the attack, I believe.
Yes, they have disadvantage
Okay.
on the attack.
Good thing because he crit the first one, but rolled a 19 on the second.
Okay, that will hit. Yeah, that
So
will.
you take 7 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
And your strength score goes down by 1.
Permanently?
You're not sure.
Okay.
But that is its turn. Draxius, you are up next.
Yes, I am. Draxius shouts, lesser beings, surrender before the might of the Order of the Emerald Claw, and he, like, dive bombs the shadow with his tail.
Okay.
Which is a magical attack, for what that's worth.
Ooh, okay.
And he rolls 19 to hit.
A 19 does hit.
Here, 4 piercing damage, and then the shadow, unless it's immune to poison, which it probably is, has to make a Constitution save.
He is immune to poison, unfortunately.
Okay, so no poison. The poison just out onto the floor.
Yeah, it just kind of like seeps through, but like you can see
Right.
as Draxus, like the stinger kind of comes through, it does like some of the shadow just disperses, and you can see a little bit of light shining through whatever like ambient light there is. It kind of shines through this.
So he just like Mario jumps on this guy and then bounces back up into the air.
Yeah. Okay. And kind of like it tries to swing at you.
Mm-hmm. And that's the end of my turn.
All
'Cause I'm an
right.
imp.
Because I'm an imp. It is the Deathlock's turn. You see the Deathlock raises its hands and says, kind of at you, Wisp, I must finish what I started. And you see behind you this circular opening open up in the floor that looks dark, and it almost looks like the night sky. It looks very similar to the etching that you had copied over. So let me. It'd be right there, like this. So I need. Let's see. You can hear a bunch of whispers and weird noises. All of you can hear this. And the torchlight and the light spell that you had, knock and wisp, disappears. And you guys are blinded. And I need both knock and wisp to make dexterity saving throws.
It's a
Okay.
natural 20.
That's a natural 20.
I do a backflip. I do a barrel roll.
Yeah, so you see these weird, kind of similar to what Halifax had casted that took Calder. You see these tentacles reach out and try to grasp you, but it misses. But it does get Knock, unfortunately. Knock, you take 6 points of acid damage. But you can't see what's going on. Like this blackness is just you can see like little specks of what look like stars, and as you look down, Knock, it looks like you should be falling into this circle. You can see a red, it almost looks like a big red star almost. But that is its turn. Knock, you are up next. You are blinded, and since it's the start of your turn, I need you take 9 points of cold damage as this void just fills you, and you're already cold as it is being in this crypt. It's even worse now. You're muted.
That entirety of the shivering down my spine, body's aching all the time. I am literally struck to my core. I am from the Garcanian Mountains, are a mountain with frigid cold. We are familiar to it. So to have this type of unfamiliar chill rattle and knock to his bones is enough almost to infuriate him, because it's that just like what? I need a blanket. So he's going to he was running straight when the smoke, or should I say this essence of blackness had gone ahead and showed up. I'm just going to continue to run forward with a blindness, just continue to run forward, and I'm going to run forward towards this man's general direction, and I'm going to use Charger to try to attack him.
Okay, so you can charge because you saw where he was. You're blinded.
Disadvantaged. What?
So I think your attack would have disadvantage.
Yeah. All right. Let me just go ahead and see if I can.
And then really quick, I do need Jiraxius to also make a dexterity saving throw.
No, I refuse. He gets an advantage on this save.
Oh, okay.
What is the save? It's Dex?
Dexterity.
An 11. Never mind.
11. Let me double check. Is a fail. So you will take 6 points of acid damage.
Okay. Yes.
A 7 is going to miss, unfortunately. You Knock as you kind of swing. You're not sure what you're able to swing at, and so unfortunately you're unable to hit.
Wait, I didn't roll.
Oh, did you not roll? That was the dexterity.
That was him. Yeah, so you told him to go ahead and roll for the dexterity save, so I was going to make sure that I wasn't coming out of turn. I would have missed anyway. And I'm going to go ahead and swing for my second attack as well. Just kind of swing back the axe after the charge and just swing, hopefully hitting a miss. And that would be at a disadvantage. So let me go one more. All right.
So that would be 16. 16 will hit.
Fantastic.
Hey.
All right, and we hit him for 5.
5, and then you're raging, right?
Yeah, I am raging. So +2, so 7.
7. Okay, perfect. All right, and you swing, and you can't see, but you do find purchase. And then all of a sudden you feel something begin to crawl up your leg. I need you to make another dexterity saving throw.
Heard.
All right, that's a fail. You take 10 points of acid damage as the thing begins to pull you down.
I am going to use Stone Endurance.
Okay, is that a reaction?
That is a reaction. Take a die 12 off of this.
Oh, hell yeah, okay.
This madness.
That's the first time we've seen you use it.
As you see all this going on, Knock taking this swing, for anybody that can see him outside of this this darkness, he's realistically struggling. That first hit, that second hit, and then this damage itself is enough to rattle him to almost to his core. So you said that was the damage.
Yeah, let me double check really quick, because the Deathlok actually needs to make a constitution or a concentration check, because you did actually hit him. So that would be a con save. So it would just be a d20, which he rolls a natural 1. So you actually don't take any of that damage because the hunger of Hadar disappears. You can all see normally again, and so you do not
that
even
damage
take that damage
you just took you didn't.
So,
Yeah,
so,
so
I don't use
you
stone
don't take the
endurance at all
damage.
at that point.
No,
yeah?
no,
Oh,
no,
okay,
no.
All right.
So
Just wanna make
you
sure.
you can add that 10 HP back, and then you don't have that stone endurance. That's good thing I remembered.
Fantastic.
But yeah, you do. You know,
Alright, yeah.
and then you see him right there in front of you.
Seemed like we're so close. My turn.
All right, Kimura.
That's quite fortunate, because I was worried I wouldn't be able to do anything this turn with all the darkness. Okay, yeah. Having finally retreated back and seeing what seems to be this gaggle, everyone's kind of coalescing in one place now. She takes a little bit more time to take her aim. She does scream at the imp to remove itself from her line of fire. She's like, "Will you just move?" Just like
He's up by the ceiling. He's alright.
she's like trying to do things. And funny that you say that, Doc. To help her get a bit more of an angle, she actually gets some elevation. Have I got much of a overhead?
What's the ceiling height here?
Yeah.
It's about 20 feet, so yeah, you have plenty of.
Perfect. Yeah, so she's going to get some
Flight room.
elevation. She's going to take a bit of flight. She's going to go up there.
And he's small.
And she's going to take the first shot at the shadow.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now that you can see again, she's gonna use sharpshooter rules again. So, shot one. Here we go. That's a nat 20.
Oh my goodness! Go ahead and roll
Back
damage.
at it.
Oh, finally. We
Very
finally got
good.
someone with
Very
that
well.
one, huh?
Very
Huh? Yeah.
It's
perfect.
from all those nat 20s I got on her. She has absorbed
Mhm.
my
I am-
energy, and now
She's
she's
storing
taking
them
it
up.
back. It's her key. It's you have. It's your. It's your.
You're
it's your
like
key.
Kinetic
Kevin
battery.
Bacon's mutant
Yeah,
villain
like a
in
kinetic
X-Men
battery,
First
yeah.
Class.
Yeah.
You're
But it's-
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I'm-
Congratulations.
You're Kevin Bacon.
The funny thing, it's funny thing you say that, because when I used to male present, people used to say I looked like Kevin Bacon. So
Well.
there's that. Anyway, just a small fact for you. I don't know why I
Like-
chucked that in there. There you go.
I love. Here.
Like, imitate art.
Anyway, okay. So if I just roll my regular damage, and then it's my regular damage plus the maxed damage.
Yeah, so just roll, and then we'll add the damage that it rolls as the crit damage, essentially. So it'll do so it'll do 15 plus
No,
9? Or-
it's 1d10 plus 14
Right.
plus.
Well, no, it'd be 1d10 plus 5. It'd be the full d10, so it's 10 plus 5, so it'd be 15.
Yep.
And then you rolled a 9
Oh, technically,
on
yeah.
damage. So
Yeah,
I would just
yeah.
take that. So
And then add my plus 10 as well from sharpshooter.
how do you completely obliterate this thing by doing I don't know how much damage that is. 14
It's-
plus
okay.
9,
Much.
what is that? 33 points of damage?
Yeah.
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 It had 3 points it had 3 HP left. You completely destroyed this thing.
It was a shadow, right?
Shadow.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I don't even know how you physically destroy a shadow. I mean,
You poof that bitch.
it
Shine a
basically
flashlight
the
Like every single
A
video
torch.
game
Have you
ever,
played
it
Alan
just
Wake?
starts to like shatter, like shake, and then it just explodes into light for some reason.
Well, yeah. So I mean,
Think
that's
Kingdom
what
Hearts.
shadows do.
something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Basically,
yeah, yeah.
the bullet whips through it so fast that it kind of like it sucks it almost warps the shadow as the bullet tears through it, and it just kind of sucks into it, and then as it gets spiraled in, it then just kind of and just dissipates.
What a fucking
I
bullet.
love that.
What a bullet.
I love
It
that
was
so much.
literally a light bending bullet.
You're a light bender?
I wish.
On the
I
last
will.
time on
You're now have become Kevin Bacon, the guy from Wanted, or Angelina Jolie, if you really want to be.
Covered all your bases.
So
Oh
I'm
my goodness.
Angelina Bacon.
Angelina Bacon.
What a horrible name.
What a yeah. that's a-
Angelina.
Hey, no, no.
Angelina Tanya Bacon.
It's not. It's actually.
If a kid
Or-
got
or
named
my-
that, I would.
Or my
move to
new,
the country.
my new
Name-
stripper
rename
name.
myself.
Angel Bacon.
Angel Bacon. You want to get greasy, bitch? Come see me after 12 p.m.
How do you think they grease? How do you think they grease the poles, Derek? Now, anyway, so I've got my
Oh!
second shot. Second shot.
you still have your second shot. Oh, okay.
That's so much detail that I definitely needed. Oh God.
Okay. We're not breaking TOS here. Okay, so
Nope, not yet.
second. So have I
Not yet.
got a line of sight on the on this fabulous person at the back?
Yeah, he would have like 3/4 cover because
But
he's in
I
front of.
ignore
But you
that.
ignore that, so
Okay.
no, you can sharpshooter away.
I can sharpshooter away. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna sharpshooter away with the pistol.
Pistol.
Pistol. And we're going to fire some missiles. And that was okay. That's gonna miss, and it was very almost a nat 20 again.
Oh boy.
It teetered on nat 20, but no, it ended up on a 2. So we're gonna miss that
Plus
shot.
10 to hit. Good God.
I've got a plus
What
10.
was
At
that?
level 5.
Wait, what's the total?
Well,
Is
no,
it
that's
12?
with sharpshooter. So with sharpshooter, you take
Oh,
a
it's 7.
penalty. Yeah, you
Oh,
take
no,
a penalty
so,
to
yeah.
your.
She
So-
normally rolls plus 10.
My
though.
plus 10
Wait,
is
do
my
you
normal roll.
seriously?
Yeah, but I've got my feat sharpshooter. Basically means I take a -5 penalty to the shot, but I get a plus 10 to the damage if I hit still. So I'm getting, even with sharpshooter, I'm getting a +5 still.
Yeah. I don't know.
Dex-based fighters,
Damn.
baby. Yeah,
Damn.
anyway. Anyway, I
Keep-
missed my
keep
shot.
it away of
That's
the
getting
fire.
gift immediately. That dance is getting
This-
gift.
Yeah.
Put our best
Uh,
giffers on it.
So unfortunately, you do miss that second shot, and you've
I
used
do,
4
yeah.
shots. So
Yeah,
okay.
I have. That's my full barrel as well. So I will have to reload next round. But yes,
Okay.
that's my turn.
Perfect. All right. Wisp, it is your turn.
Okay. I am going to move. Shit. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, she's not. Just hit him with the quarterstaff again. We're just gonna keep at it. Yeah, she doesn't know that it's not doing quite as much damage as it should be. She's just kind of like in it mentally at the moment. So it's a 24.
24 does hit.
And she still has it gripped in the same way. She hasn't really done much. She's held it there. So we'll do 2 hands. Oh, not wrong button. Oh no, I think I froze it.
Showing 9 for me.
Okay, there we go. It froze my screen for a minute. Sorry. Okay, so 9 points of damage for
Yep.
that, and then she's going to, she'll kind of like throw it off and catch it in the one hand, and she's just gonna punch him straight in the nose. Like
Okay.
she's just trying to deck this guy.
Like
In
it's a
the
bad dog.
in the undead nose.
Yeah, it's 12.
Where
I don't
his
think
nose-
12 is a miss, unfortunately.
Yeah. He like dips to the side and she's like, "What the fuck? Stop." She's getting frustrated. But yeah, I'll stay there. Yeah, I'll stay there.
All
and I'll
right.
just let it be.
Okay.
It's
Jiraxius.
my turn. He's gonna go up and stab him with his tiny little tail.
So much presence. I fucking love it. This little imp.
He flies down and goes boop and stabs him with a stinger.
Okay.
That's 12 to hit.
12's a miss, unfortunately. So you'd have to move right there. I'm
Damn,
assuming.
the number 12 today, man.
I don't know. I guess 12. All right, that's it.
Okay.
And then he like unplugs and flies up towards the ceiling again.
Okay.
Unplugs.
As you begin
It's
flying
gonna-
up,
it's
it's gonna take its reaction to do an attack of opportunity on you. Which is a 23 to hit.
Yeah, say goodbye to
Jesus.
Jiraxius.
You
Go ahead.
you take 9 points of necrotic damage.
Okay, Jiraxius vanishes into nothingness.
Does he say or do anything as he
Yes,
disappears?
he says. As he like misses, he retracts and he goes to fly towards the ceiling, and he says, "You are lucky I was here. You 3 are useless." And then he's just he gets hit by this death block, and ceases to
Yeah,
exist.
So you
Well, not
hear
ceases
this.
to exist, but it
You
ceases
hear
to
this
exist
and
on this plane.
right. You hear this and all of a sudden you hear as the deathlock grabs him by the throat and just squeezes and all of a sudden he goes. It just like disappears into nothing.
Can I add something?
Yes,
Cole?
please
At
do.
your discretion.
Uh-huh.
Is that if Jiraxius's master is within earshot, the rest of the party would hear a voice cry out in frustration and alarm. I'm just saying. You can tell. You can say it's not.
I don't think. I think they might be a little too far away.
Okay. Alright.
There's a
He
big,
does it anyway. Wherever he is, he yells.
Somewhere in the distance, there's a cry of frustration.
There's a distant fuck from like halfway down east, just way down the corridor.
Yep. All right, y'all kill this guy. I'm gonna go get another beer.
All right.
Indeed.
So it is the Deathlock's turn. It is going to make another Deathly Claw attack at Knock, which is a 21 to hit.
That'd be it.
You take 6 points of necrotic damage as you kind of you get a big scrape across your chest, and the wound begins to kind of fester and die very quickly. But that's all it can do. It's a little cornered. He's actually he's gonna stay right there. He's a little cornered, but it is your turn. Knock.
Yeah, he gets hit by that, and knock. He drops down to one knee with like a heavy breath and a growl, but then like immediately snaps his his eyes up with like a grin on his face. That face of a warrior that when he sees his own blood gets that lust, that rage, and he just stands up in one motion, just swings his axe at the death clock. Death clock.
Go ahead and roll your attack, my friend.
Indeed. Let's smack him up. Smack.
Sweet.
No smack.
10's a miss, unfortunately.
86 smack. Smack him again.
Smack him again.
We ain't smacking nothing. Well, 86 smack.
8's a miss, unfortunately, as well.
Yeah. I'm going to move right behind this urn, and then I'm going to stare at the urn. With the
Okay.
intention of breaking that shit.
It would take an attack of opportunity, but it used it to kill the little imp, unfortunately. So you're safe for now. So Draxius's death was not in vain. And you look at the urn. Kimura, we're back to you.
Oh, damn, that was fast. Okay, so, obviously I have my rifle on a sling, and I have in the past, put my pistol away and pulled my rifle up in quick succession before. Are we still running with that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kruta. Okay, so, I'm going to reload the pistol very quickly.
Okay.
And then as my second attack action, literally whip the rifle up and fire it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you hurry and reload pretty quickly, Arthur Morgan style, and then put it away, and then flip the rifle.
Okay, flip the rifle
Because
up.
they reload the guns way too fast.
Way too fast. Boy, they're like the expert 6-shooters, man.
Yeah.
What's
Barely
that?
need to right click on it.
What's that anime where they... Grenadier?
Dragon.
Is it? No. Trigon is the one with the guy with spiky hair and the red coat, right?
Yes.
No, I'm thinking of no.
Campaign?
Yes, Vash Stampede. I'm thinking of Grenadier, where they reload their pistols in a slightly different way. If you've seen it, you'll know what I mean. I'll explain afterwards. I'm gonna.
Deep
I'm-
cut.
Nerd.
They might use their boobies to reload.
They do. I've seen a clip of that actually on a web that we won't talk about right now. But yeah,
exactly. Right. Okay. And we use a grip point to gain advantage on the shot.
Okay.
With the rifle. So we're gonna get an advantage shot with the rifle. She really takes her time to kind of aim in on this one. We're going for a headshot.
All right.
With sharpshooter as well.
With sharpshooter.
With
okay.
sharpshooter. Let's see how this goes. It's not quite a nat, but it is a 20.
It is a 20, minus 5. Yeah, obviously minus 20. Minus 5 for 20. That does hit.
Yeah, perfect. And we are firing the lasers. And we are doing the damage of 25.
How do you kill this thing as well?
So this thing's a lot more what's the word? Corporeal? Corporeal? Like
Yes.
It's
Corporeal.
Corporeal.
Corporeal. Thank you.
Ooh,
And basically this thing, you hear a ching 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 as the pistol reloads. You hear a slight delay, and then you hear a crack that's a bit different to the pistol. It's a lot more shrill, but it thunders through the room. And given this room is like kind of small, it just bounces off the walls. And as that happens, this thing just goes, it just tears through the face. Just tears through it. But it goes so fast, it doesn't take the head with it. It makes just this massive old hole through the head. And you just see this perfect little circle straight in the center of it. But it's made a mess because it basically fragmented as it went through. And it's just made a mess.
I think there's like a moment where it tries to reach out for knock, but it can't because it can't use its reaction. Then it turns back and all of a sudden, like straight immediately, just a shot to the head, and just whatever undead blood and gore is left just gets splattered against the back of the wall, and it just
There's just a cloud of
collapses.
dust in my face as I'm just like splattered with the remains of his face in my face.
And the last thing you hear after that, after the loud crack, you just hear a ting, and basically that's me pulling the slide bolt back on it. Imagining like an M1 Garand finishing its clip.
Don't just stop.
And-
I'm already halfway there. You didn't even. Yeah, all you had to say was M1 Grand Ting, and I'm like, ah! Love it. Love it.
How Kimura rolls. And just to confirm, would you consider that a significant enemy, DM?
Yes.
Awesome. In that case, there's a feature for my grit points. Basically, if I kill a significant enemy or get a crit whilst using a grit point, I get it back.
Okay, there you
Perfect.
go.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you
you're
very
getting a good point. And you guys are left in the darkness and the quiet once more.
Knock kicks over the urn that's right in front of him.
Okay, so that's when you actually had cut with your axe, and there's just gold and coins. Yeah.
I rummaged through it. I put all the gold inside my pouch.
Yeah, you find the equivalent of 50 gold pieces.
Nice. Richer than when I came in this bitch.
I think for a moment, Wisp will take stock of the room and then take a minute to kind of she gets down kind of like in that gargoyle-ish stance, but she's putting her knees on her elbows and she's just kind of like taking a moment to breathe. Because everything has happened so fast.
Okay.
She's taking a moment.
And you're kind of, as you're breathing, looking around, and like I said, you see the urns and the broken sarcophagus, and then you see that door in the back left corner that's still closed.
Through the door. She's still like closed eyes in that stance, but she's so to the door.
To the door.
Knock kind of has his hand on his chest from the last wound that he had, and with that soft saunter.
That's fine. If one of you pick up the vial inside of one of these things.
As he points at the urns by the sarcophagus.
Okay. So yeah, there's 2 potions of healing to go around to whoever, if you wanted to use them.
Knock says, I need one. No.
I take the other and like hand it out to Kimura.
Do not need this.
I could take it or go with it. I'm okay at the moment.
Kimura
need
kind
it?
of flexes her back a little bit, and she goes, actually.
She tosses it. Yeah, she tosses it. As soon as you just do that, she's like, you're fine.
She didn't quite realize
take
how much that hurt until after things settled. You know, when you get that like battle adrenaline,
Yeah.
she's kind of going, oh shit, actually that kind of burns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
She'll like toss it to you, and then I'll like start doing some stretches, and just like while they're doing that, just kind of like everybody
just
take a
drain
step for a minute.
the lactic acid. Just stretch it out.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're gonna take the health potion, it's 2d4 plus 2.
Awesome. Okay.
2d4 plus
So
2.
roll that in there. 2d4 plus 2. That's a standard, isn't it? That's
Yeah, it's a regular. Yeah, just a regular potion of healing. Mm-hmm.
roll for health.
Okay, so Knock, you restore 4 HP, and Kimura 7.
Perfecto.
It's plus. You said plus 2, right? Or is it plus your constitution?
Oh yeah, plus 2, so 6 for you.
6, right? Awesome. I want to go around to the other rest of the room and break the rest of the urns.
Okay. As you hack through and break some of the others, you're not finding anything anything like the scroll that you had or anything like that or the health potions, but you do find an equivalent of about 100 gold pieces in here.
I will also stuff my sack full of more gold, please. There, DM, thank you.
You guys just see Nock just like ferociously
fucker.
throwing gold into his pack.
Listen, I know the circles of hell. Gluttony is on the 6th or the 5th, and we ain't got there yet.
So he's just shoving all the gold into the in his pockets.
Yes, no glory in great knock.
Well, there isn't. But there's glory in drink.
He just puts ties the sack back onto his to his hip. The doorway, or there is a door in this room.
There is, yeah, there's a door on the back left corner.
Well, we came this far, and now we don't have our domain flare. But where to go?
True.
That would be it.
And she just like kind of stands up and gestures towards the door.
Knock walks over there, definitely looking even more, or if not as exhausted as he was beforehand. So his pace is definitely a lot slower, for sure. He also has his hand consistently like brushing off his chest and whatnot, kind of like brushing off the blackness of the wound and everything else that had hit him prior to.
Kimura's going to walk over whilst reloading to where Nock is. And she's just going to kind of look him over. You're going to be okay.
Be fine. We'll be just fine. Be better when we get the hell out of here. Sick of looking at the other dead.
I have to agree.
Now, how about yourself? How you doing?
Not the first hit I've taken. Won't be the last. I'm
not worried about the battle, Kimura. What the hell did that person mean over there to you? You've been quiet this entire time. I haven't had a damn word from you. You tell about your ill intent with the stone. A disagreement with you not being very transparent. And then you find an arm, a ring, of a dead carcass. And you're as quiet as a cricket during the day. Care to share?
I'm not going into details now, but there are people.
Nock stops and just.
What?
You need to tell us.
About what that was back there?
Who are these people to you?
They wear the same mark, do they not?
Right. Does that make them bloodkin? Obviously they are the same.
You don't know much about the Legion, do you?
Can't say that I do. No.
You've never heard of the Heidegard massacre?
If your tragedies and your people ever made their way to the Garcaead Mountains,
I would not be surprised if they did.
But I don't know anything about your people or their accomplishments. Obviously, I haven't been too much filled with glory in that sense.
You name a major battle. My people were most likely there, in some capacity. We are bored. You need firepower, you need men, you need swords. That is us. Basically, you buy our power. At least, you did. That's why I'm here. To find out whether we still exist. Now, is that enough?
Nock looks towards her and shakes his head.
Yeah. That's enough.
And starts to walk on his saunter again, walking forward. That was the conversation, by the way, was loud enough for anybody to hear. That was not a whisper.
Kimura looks back to everyone else. Well, Wisp. There's no one left.
I'm just like, as this is happening, I'm already uncomfortable in uncomfortable situations. Like, she's uncomfortably just like turning around and like looking at the glyphs on the walls and like looking to see if there's any coins that weren't picked up. Like, she's just trying to, she's listening, passive, like actively listening, but trying to look passive.
Kimura has her rifle not slung. She's got it dug into her shoulder. Wisp,
Yeah, yes.
you got questions still?
You answered them as much as you're comfortable. That's comfortable with me.
In that case,
Knowing is better than not.
can we press on?
By all means. You're the one with the dark vision.
Either way, Captain.
And I will light a second torch before we go, because the one that I had is out.
Okay. Kimura will proceed to take point.
All right. Are you heading towards, like, back the way you came, towards the door ahead of you?
So, where's the area that we haven't? So, where's the area that we haven't been to? It sounds a bit of a cop out. So we were heading
Right.
towards. Go anywhere we haven't
The
been.
door. We want to go to the door.
Yeah. So it would be
Door,
that.
yeah.
It'd be the door.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd
Before
like to head
anybody
towards the door.
touches it, I would like to look to see if it has any sort of inscriptions around it.
And then I'll talk.
Please.
We are learning.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead and roll a
We will just-
perception
We
check.
don't have a rogue. I have the simplest thing we have.
Can I assist in that? Given that I'm not
Yeah.
relying on light necessarily. What do we do right now?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and Wisp. Go ahead and roll a perception check with advantage, with Kimura helping you.
Advantage.
And that. So altogether, that is an 18.
18. Okay. So it's a pretty old, worn door. From what you can tell, it doesn't look trapped. There's no glyphs or anything around it. So you're feeling relatively confident.
Okay. I'll just like nod to her. I'll nod to Kimura. Seems okay. Yeah.
All right then. Is it just a push? Are we not just?
There.
Is it a push?
push
Is it
or
a
a
pull?
pull?
Is there a revolving?
Is it
It's
a
actually it's a portcullis.
buzzing?
No, no. It's you see like a.
It's Japanese sliding door.
Beaded curtains.
Look.
So
Okay.
it's a heavy set wooden iron wrought door with a looks like a pole handle,
Okay.
like with like the ring. But as you pull it, it doesn't. It seems stuck. It won't. It moves. You can hear it. You know it. It's fucking stuck, guys.
It's
Yeah.
stuck.
I politely, I take a moment, and then I just want to knock on the door. I want
Okay.
to politely knock on the door.
Nobody was like trying to get a better description.
It's fucking stuck. It's not moving.
You guys know what a stuck door is like. You guys know what a stuck door is like. You tried to open a door that's stuck. That's exactly what it's like.
You think back to your childhood when
we
you
were just-
encountered a door that was stuck.
We just.
It feels like that moment.
We were just
my
listening.
God.
We were just listening intently. That was all.
I know. It was
You
more
just
me
felt-
being
you
frustrated
felt
trying
in that
to
moment, yeah. You felt,
trying
like you
trying
needed to oversell it.
right.
Just
Trying
reminded
to
me.
describe what a fucking stuck door is like.
You just reminded me of that scene from Hot Fuzz where he's asking the guy to describe a swan, and he's like, it's got white, it's got feathers, he's a swan. Like, what would you want?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to knock on the door. I'm just gonna try to politely knock on the door to see if it's stuck for a reason.
You
Okay.
hear a voice come from the other side, muffled. Sounds a little bit distant, even, I think. And it says, yeah?
And I just like look.
Yeah,
I just
Kimura
look
looks
at
at Wisp.
Kimura. I just like. I'm like. What,
I mean, come in?
What? It's a
can we
stuck
try to
door.
open the door again?
Yeah,
yeah.
Knock's big hand like wraps around Kimura's hand as right for the door, like the handle of the door, and he just kind of like he kind of like looks at Wisp and then looks
Can I
at
also
Kimura.
put my hand on his hand, not understanding what this
So
moment is?
everybody holds hands.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you open the door, or do you need me to open the door?
You can get off me.
And I remove my hand very
Knock,
quickly when she
Knock
says that.
puts all of his weight like on her back, like his chest is just resting on it, and I'm really tired, Kimura.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm going to be if you don't get off.
He sits back up,
Heard that.
takes his hands off the door, and says, "We would like to come in. Can we come in?"
Is she shouting that to the person inside?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I can't help you. I just open the door.
Wait. There's this one time in Highgate I have to check. Are you decent?
I mean, I'm all right.
Oh my
Whoever
God, this
this-
guy's as smooth as butter.
Whoever this is, I already hate him. All right, we're coming in.
Oh boy, open that fucking door.
She
Okay,
she tries to push the door. She tries to push it.
So as you push it, it doesn't move.
Pull it.
I think it's a pull.
It's stuck.
Knock wraps his hands around Kimura's hands and says, "This is what this is for."
No,
Pull
just
it.
push the
And
fucking door.
And he pulls on the handle and pulls like with their hands, and Kimura's hands try to pull the door.
Okay, roll an athletics check for me.
Well then.
Okay, so yeah, you just like with a big yank, you just rip
Like
the
a
door off
sarcophagus.
like a sarcophagus. You rip the door
Like
off
light
its
trap.
whatever hinges it has.
So I'm actually
And-
holding the door and Kimura up in the air, like I'm like drops the door and drops her.
She gracefully floats down, thanks to her
Looks
boots.
into the hole.
You'd have to crouch to get in here, Knock, but you actually see light. You see several lit braziers that kind of line this circular room, but you don't see anybody in the room, but you see what looks like a grate of some sort in the center.
Kimura is sights up, scanning the room.
And
Okay.
as she's doing that, I'll walk over to the grate
Yeah, I'm also going to
and like
continue
kind of peer. I'm gonna actually like walk over to it. I'm gonna get down on my knees and kind of like look into it. I don't have dark vision, so even if it's light, like if it's dark down there, I can't see. So I'm gonna get a little closer.
Yeah, there's enough light that I dare say you could see down there. What you see is like a pit or a hole of some sort. Not very wide. It's maybe 7 feet in diameter, so just enough for a person. And you can see there's like water trickling down into it, and you see bones, like a skeleton down there, and then you see a figure sitting there, kind of looking up at you. Justin, if you would like to describe your new character for us.
Yeah, so you see a man standing sort of on the remains of other people, dead people. He is dressed in a long blue coat with a fashion that is kind of unfamiliar to you. It has sharp lines and a popped collar. He has like a cravat ascot, like on this really like sharp, almost military looking vest. He has sandy blonde hair, and he is fucking gorgeous. And like has this haircut where it's like he's got the undercut, but it's like all swooped and floppy all on down the side. And of great note is the fact that he is holding a clipboard, and he looks up at all of you. He says, sorry, 1 second. I'm glad you're here. 1 second. And he finishes like he's filling something out on the clipboard and finishes casting Find Familiar, and Jaraxius appears out of nowhere. and just sort of in front of him. He's like, "Oh, right there you are, Draxius says, "Behold the Lord of the Pit, Marcoris Deg." And he says, "Hey, everybody, how you doing? I'm glad you made it. That guy out there looks like he was in a lot of trouble."
Kimura is pointing the rifle down the pit.
Well, who the hell is inviting us into their home and not you, imp?
I will say also, Marcoris, you've never seen whatever this
that gun thing.
this elf.
Yeah, I took note of that earlier. Yeah, that thing in your hand. I'm sorry. You know what? We should start at the beginning, but I just have to say right off the bat, that thing is a work of art. I've never seen a weapon like that before.
she pointing down the hole, she kind of looks back at them. Yeah, it's something.
I mean, it's great. I mean, I saw you take care of that fella out there towards the end of the. I mean, I didn't see the very end because something happened to Jerry. But towards the, I mean, I know that you were going to take some shots. I heard them, bang, 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 and then and Jiraxi says,
"Yes, I was taken care. I was killed by that abomination."
Wait,
"It's all right, Jerry." And he sort of pats the imp on the back. "It's all right, Jerry. Don't worry about it."
Sorry, Jerry.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, his name is Jiraxis. I call him Jerry, and I'm Marcoris. Friends call me Mark, but I mean, you can do whatever you want as long as you get me out of this hole.
And you summoned this?
Yeah, no. This is Jerry's my administrative assistant. He helps me file paperwork. He helps run things up the chain of command, so to speak. Helps me.
Sorry.
You know.
Chain
But
of
when
command?
we got, this is a long story, but I'm standing on a pile of corpses. And if y'all have a rope or something,
you'll continue to stand on the pile of corpses till you answer my questions.
I mean, it sounds like a long conversation, but
No. We've been through a lot.
Sure. Okay, so my name's Marcoris. I come from someplace else far away. We did some mumbo jumbo to get ourselves sent here, but there was some sort of miscalculation. Jerry ended up out in the hallway, I guess, and I ended up here. And I don't have the kind of resources prepared to get me out of this pit. Usually I could do some magic or something to help me escape, but for the time being, I've just been here for about 2 days. It smells all to high heaven, which I'm sure you know by now. And it's not pleasant at all. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Magic. You do magic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, yep.
Wisp looks immediately at Kimura and says, "We need to get him out of the pit."
You know, hold on. Knock like Sergeant Belvedere looks over the hole, does look at the man in the pit and says, "Whew, how the hell did you even get yourself in this predicament? How the hell did you get yourself miles underground and then stuck in a hole?"
Well, like I said, it was sort of magic of teleportation, and you know, those things, they can be accurate, they can be just a little bit off base. Every once in a blue moon, you're going to end up in a situation like this.
You teleport yourself into a hole.
Oh no, I didn't do it. I don't have that sort of power. No. The home office did.
Sorry, home office.
Yeah, people who sent me. I work for a group called the Order of the Emerald Claw. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but
DM,
the freedom fighters.
No.
I've heard of a lot of groups. Yours does not ring any proverbial bells.
No, I expect it wouldn't. No, not here. We're in Vedranis, right? I mean, that's I landed in, at least I landed in the right city.
You're in Vedranis, duh.
Yeah, we're not in Ravenloft or Exandria or Earth or anything like that.
I don't know these places.
Yeah, okay, and see, and I don't know what that weapon is in your hand, but at least I'm in the right place.
Huh. Does anyone? I can't remember. Does anyone else have rope? I can't remember.
I think I have
I do.
some rope.
So I remember now. Yeah, because people were dangling
I bought
from it
extra.
whilst we were escaping from.
Yep, I bought a lot of extra rope.
So Kimura pushes the butt of her rifle down, and then rests the rifle on the floor, and then gestures Wisp over.
Yeah.
We should get them up.
And I will go into my pack. I'll take out my, I think I still have the 50 I got rid of the 15. So I still have the 50-footer rope. So I will just kind of like start to, let it down and look around the room. Is there something that I can tie it to anchor it?
I mean, you could maybe anchor it to the grate, but
I
other
start
than
tying
that,
it around Knock's waist.
I'm about to
Okay.
say, Mama, like I look
Yeah,
at
I
her struggling
it's
with
one of
that, and
those
I'm like,
moments where like I just like look at like I take it out, I start to like let it down. I'm looking around passively. I don't see anything. I don't even think about it. I just turn around and immediately like find Knock and start to tie it around his waist.
At that point, Juraxius flies up and tries to grab onto the rope as well. Says, "Here, I will help you, weaklings. You have failed me before, but I will not fail you."
I just nod. I'm like,
Knock looks to him and like he braces his feet and like leans himself back like if you get ready to do those rope exercises at the gym, and he's like, hold on to the rope, and he's just trying to blow on the imp to see if he can make the imp move at all. He's like,
That is annoying. Stop, Goliath.
you're kind of Draxus is kind of like moving back just a little bit as like the breath kind of catches his wings a little bit.
Stop that.
he blows again at him.
Are they making any progress of getting sorry, character name again?
Marcoris.
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 AKA Mark.
I'll put it in chat for you.
Mark and Jerry.
Mark.
Mark from accounting.
Mark from accounting and Jerry his assistant. I love it.
Oh, no, he's not from accounting.
Oh, okay. He's from the home office.
I mean, ask some questions to find out.
Okay. Right. So, is Mark making any progress out of the hole?
Yes, but it's covered in a grate still. So he's like holding on, but there's the grate between you and yeah.
Knock, if you would.
Knock looks at her and goes, I'm the anchor. Figure it out.
Jerry at this point flies down and tries to pull up the crate.
Unless you just want to switch.
Yeah, you see Draxius pull, and you see his little pec muscles pop a little bit. And it doesn't go anywhere.
If I try and lift the grate, does it budge at all? Does it seem like it's loose?
You can make an athletics check.
Okay, yeah, I would.
I'll help. I'll help.
Ah.
I mean,
Okay,
any
yeah.
y'all got a crowbar or anything like that? I mean, you can just sort of like, lever action, right?
Oh, I do. I always forget these things.
Don't.
I do.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
I stick a crowbar in, basically.
I will still help. I will pull up the grate as she's trying to like crow it.
Okay, I would say with all of that, I would say it takes you a couple minutes, but with the crowbar and everybody helping, you are able to pry it open enough where he can kind of crawl out from under it.
Okay.
And get out.
After we remove the grate and everything, the crowbar away, rifle straight back up, pointing at Mark.
Ooh, all right. That thing's
Mark,
big, right?
It is big. Now, you have seen, I'm assuming, based on what you are saying.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, anything that Jerry sees, I can see. So I'm already familiar with y'all, but I have to say, and he turns towards Knock and he says, "You are even bigger in person, aren't you? You're a tall drink of water, huh?"
A tall drink of water.
Yeah.
Are you sizing me up, fella?
I mean, maybe, but not for the thing you think I am.
He leans him really close, and he's like wrapping the rope in his hands and whatnot to like put it up in like a a nice circle. And then he goes to go and give it back to Wisp.
He winks at you. Anyway, y'all. Okay, so Marcoris Deg, from the Order of the Emerald Claw. Home city is a city, country called Karnath. Come a long way to get here. And if I remember, and he points at everyone in turn, and he says, "You are Captain Kimura of, what was it, the Onyx Legion?"
Captain Kimura,
Okay.
Thunderthorn, 25th Legionnaires, Onyx Legion.
All right, you said that a few times, all right. And then this little lady over here, I'm sorry, I don't want to assume pronouns or anything like that, but Miss Wisp, yeah, Miss Nix. Okay, great. All right, nice to meet you. And then you, Knock. All right, okay. Say, I sure appreciate it. How do we get out of here?
Well, you said you teleported, right?
Yeah, but again, I didn't do the teleporting. That was we have wizards and stuff like that who are in charge of those things. I don't have that kind of ability. I mean,
in this
moving
room-
between planes and things like that—that's tricky stuff.
In this room that we're in, is there any other doorways, DM?
I forgot to mention it, but yes, there's an archway leading on the back end of the room.
It just leads into
yes.
the-
It's just an
the-
open archway that leads somewhere else.
Enter the tanner.
all
Guys.
right, so let's see. Knock turns to the rest of them, looking towards Kimura, saying that
The imp said that there was another doorway over there. We'd never gone through. We could not open the door. We have options. Either backtrack our way that way, or keep going forward.
I don't know if there was anything back that way. I am assuming that Jerry here has scouted.
I mean, Jerry got a good look at that hallway, and that's about it.
Good job, Jerry. Okay.
Thank you.
The thing is we just entered into an enormous room full of corpses. Leading down even further down the hallway after fighting one of those things. That might get worse. And you know I'm not opposed to worse. We've seen better conditions. We all have.
Why don't we ask Markaris?
Oh, sure. I mean, I don't even know what brings y'all down here, but I ain't seen the other side of that archway. But in the meantime, y'all are looking kind of beat up. You sure you don't want to maybe rest not in this room because of the stink, but if you want to head back into that last room there, maybe we could take a quick rest and get bandaged up before we go on our way.
That
why
might
don't-
be helpful.
Why don't you send Jerry down there? And he points
Yeah,
at
I
the
can do that.
archway.
Sure. Well, you know what? Tell you what, I can do both at the same time. That sounds good to you. We go back there, we take a rest, and while we do that, I'll just sort of steer Jerry. Jerry, you don't mind that, do you?
No, I do not mind being of service.
Knock looks for confirmation and eyes from everybody else.
O Dark Lord Markoris, Lord of the Pit.
Wisp just kind of like has this like we're doing it sort of face, so she nods at you. She nods at you. Yeah.
All right, get it done.
Yes, ma'am. And he does a little salute and then winks at you cheekily.
You cheeky bastard.
I believe you have something in your eye.
Oh, I was winking. Oh, no, all right, sure.
I will mention as you guys kind of make your way back into the room, you kind of thinking about what Markoris had said to you and whatnot, and where he is from. None of you have heard of this place ever.
Which place?
Yeah, well.
He named it.
Karnath.
Oh, Karnath,
Where
right?
he's
Yeah.
from. Yeah, where he's from. And we've never heard of the origin of the Emerald Claw. The
Nope.
order of the Emerald Claw. Okay, cool.
No.
We're oblivious.
We all oblivious.
Oblivious.
When
So you go back,
God in
take a short
obliviosa.
rest, and I'll get ready to steer Jerry.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys take a short rest so you can go ahead and
Shit.
take another short rest if you like.
I would like to roll a hit die.
Okay.
Or
While
two.
you guys are doing that, you guys can take care of that. I will kind of describe what Jerry sees. So you send Jerry. Are you sending Izzy invisible or?
Yeah, here definitely invisible, and yeah, just head through that archway.
Okay. So he continues along.
Always detecting magic.
Always detecting magic and isn't really seeing much. Just more labyrinthine hallways with alcoves and sarcophagi and whatnot in it. He comes to not a dead end, but it looks like it would have been a dead end, but there is like the wall has been busted and there is a tunnel that looks like it has been dug out, and you can see the rubble and whatnot. And there's some sort of etching or marking and some writing etched into the stone wall around this entry point.
Can I read it?
What languages do you and Jerry speak?
Between us, I speak Infernal, Celestial, Common, and Draconic. And I have to look at Jerry. Hold on, really quick.
Jerry. Fucking
Um,
Fucking Jerry.
Jerry speaks Infernal and Common, so we should have.
Okay. It's not any language that you or Jerry recognize. It looks like Common in a way, but some of the letters are a little jumbled. It looks
Maybe it's
old
uncommon.
and weird. Jerry thinks it's uncommon.
Okay.
And then I
report that
will describe the etching that you see that Jerry sees. He sees a web, like an etched web with a
Sure.
circle, and then 3 circles in it, and then 4 like lines coming off.
So
of it.
when I report that back to everyone, I do it from the perspective of it's kind of like all them inscriptions that y'all have seen already, right? But also you, and he points at Wisp, and he says you were real interested in that thing with the webbing, right? The sort of the web imagery, and he describes it all to Wisp.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's what we got. But it's like a. You said it was a caved in. Is it a caved in thing, or is it just rubble?
It looks like it's like the cobblestone has been torn down, and there's a tunnel.
Yeah, it looks like somebody dug their way out, maybe.
Well,
Not like something you have to crawl, but something you could walk through. It's
Sure.
quite.
It's excavated.
Yeah.
well, rest up and see what we have on the other side of that.
Sounds good. See how we feel afterward.
All right.
Okay. So you guys can do your short rest. I will say that if you wanted to get to that point, right to the edge, you could. There was nothing in between that
That's fine with me.
Jerry saw. So
Okay. So we all short rest and then get up to that sort of tunnel.
There is no.
who's taking the
sorry,
lead? Sorry.
Marconis.
Yeah, Marcoris. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's fine. You just met me. I don't expect you to know.
Dark. Yeah. You can see in dark.
Yep, sure can. Yeah, quite a distance.
Take point.
If you don't mind, can I send Jerry on point and I can just sort of bring up the rear?
And then Knox stands up and goes, "I am the rear."
All right, then I'm
Okay.
definitely going to take the rear.
Jerry. Then you. Then me.
And Jerry doesn't respond to you, but looks at Marcoris. And he says, "Yeah, do what the lady says." And he does. All right, sounds good. And then we lead on.
Okay. And so you guys can continue on this labyrinthine hallway for a while, seeing what I described earlier before you reach, the excavated kind of tunneling ahead of you, and the 3 of you see what Marcoris had described earlier in that symbol, and then the words that are etched in that he couldn't understand.
I would like to try and read the inscription.
Okay. You can understand what is written here because it is written in Undercommon.
Undercommon. Okay, cool.
And what it says is, let me find my notes. He is that which carries our burdens. We are as the legs that lift him up. The weaver's faces watch us. Through his web we find our peace.
Okay, so he is that which carries
Our burdens.
our burdens. Okay.
We
And
are
then-
as the legs that lift him up.
Okay.
The weaver's faces watch us. Through his web we find our peace.
Okay. And I will relate that.
Right, because that doesn't sound like a cult.
Yeah, it's like spider talk, right?
Yeah.
I can't say I've ever heard a spider talk.
Well, guess I can't either, but I suppose there's probably one out there that can.
In my understanding of when I was like learning Undercommon and just like, I imagine when I learned a language, I also learned some of the culture surrounding it. Have I ever heard of anything of the Weavers specifically, or any terms
Yeah.
for the Weavers?
Go ahead and roll a history check, and I will say, to clarify, it is the Weaver apostrophe S. So it's not multiple. It's
Okay.
one. It says
Okay.
the like. It's
Oh.
possessive. It's the
you.
Weaver's
Okay.
faces, not.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yep.
Do
Wait,
I
hold
know what the Weaver is, and have I heard about their faces?
Ah,
You said
History. Yeah.
17.
I don't like
You, not in your very far-reaching history have you ever heard of the Weaver, but you get this sick feeling in your stomach as one of the last things you remember hearing Halifax say is, if you speak something's name, it has power, and that they have titles that they go by, as to not invoke their name.
Oh.
And as that realization kind of dawns upon you, that is where we're going to end for tonight.
I literally have it written down as the more you say the name, the more power you give to the thing. That's what he told us.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
So the Weaver is like
Oh my
its
god, the Weaver is its
backup
title.
name.
Yeah.
Its
Yep.
title, yeah.
It's its backup
Nice.
name.
Oh my god.
Weaver.
Oh goodness.
Wow.
Thank you everybody
That's
for
the
hanging out.
outro song today.
That's-
I know.
It was interesting.
I will just say, by the way, if you guys aren't part of the Discord, if I could type,
Discord, that cord.
It's all right. It's all right, DM Dad. We'll get
Justin did just post the character art for Marcos.
Oh, I should post. I'll put it in the main chat too.
in the chat.
yeah.
So if you guys want to look at the
It's
general
gonna be in
chat in there,
spoiler chat. I'm gonna put it in spoiler chat.
yeah, we can put it in spoiler chat, so you can get a good
so
look at this
handsome.
handsome guy. But thank you everybody for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it. We had so many people, so many subs.
Yeah.
endless.
Isla, Sephi, Kate.
Capus.
Thank you all so much.
Val
for...
came in, did a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
all the gifty subs. That's amazing. You guys are awesome. Let's go around. Let us know what you guys are up to, where we can find you. Ray, let's start with you.
Oh, hey, I'm Ray, or with a brick on the interwebs. I am streaming more often than usual now, so go watch me there. Follow me on my socials. I scream a lot about things. I'm pretty easygoing. I love being here every Thursday. Why are we lying?
Because you said I'm pretty easygoing. I scream about a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm easygoing, but I just talk really loud about things that I like. That's
Sold.
pretty much it.
Follow
Yeah.
this lady immediately.
I love you guys. I love you guys. I love being here. I love playing Wisp. Thanks for letting me vibe with y'all. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, we love having you. Justin, where can we
What?
find you? What? I love that's
love
how
you.
your immediate reaction whenever I
I
talk
know.
to you.
I don't know. I'm good. I'm just kind of punchy because I had such a fun time tonight in bringing out not only a new character but his administrative assistant, who is a completely different character. So that was fun. I'm Doc Rimbo. I'm Doc Rimbo here on Twitch. I'm Doc Rimbo on Twitter. You can find me here every Thursday, of course, with this crew. I'm so glad to have someone new to bring to the party, but also every Monday night here on InfiniteRP, we do Flames of Freedom, which is a Zweihander-powered 1776 Revolutionary War plus Zombies game, which is super fun. And we've got an amazing cast. We're 2 episodes in. It's not too late to catch up, and it's so much fun. It's it's a blast every week, and they're always cosplaying. I think one of them may have mailed me a powdered wig this week.
Yes, that's
So-
what we wanted. That is what we wanted.
Well, Monday night, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, here on Infinite RP, and I love all of you very much.
Yes, go watch it. It's so good. It's just such a fun vibe. I mean, if you think this is good, that's also good.
Mhm.
Everything's just good, so go watch it. Go give
Everything's
that
good,
crew
is what
some
we're
love.
saying.
Yes,
Everything's
everything
good.
good on Infinite RP is good. Obviously, because it's good.
That's our
How
motto.
it goes. I will
Everything is
just say
awesome.
as well that I'm so excited for Mark Horace. There's so much. Like if you guys know D&D lore, tonight should have been like a big wait, what the fuck kind of thing. So just
There's
so
some fun
y'all
stuff
is
happening.
aware, I hit my mic. We will learn more. But Isla, where can we find you? What are you up to?
Find me over at my channel, my Twitch channel, Phoenix Over. The name's underneath my face. Right here underneath my chin. Yeah, so I'm on there at the moment. I'm streaming a bit more at the moment. I'm playing a bit of a mishmash of games. It's not really RP related, but come watch me scream at demons whilst I tear their heads off. I also scream about things, but I'm not chilled out. I'm not chilled out. No, I shoot demons and romp around in cyberpunk settings, shooting more things. I'm doing a lot of shooting recently, taking out my frustrations in the virtual world so that I don't take my frustrations out in the real world on like random cones on the street or something. I don't know. Fucking know. I don't go
You
outside.
too?
Yeah,
I
right.
thought I was alone. And that
Just-
pilgrimage of
they're
hatred for those
so-
orange
They're
bastards.
so kickable.
Fuck those things in
Don't-
particular. Are you
don't you
scream
hate-
at them?
Yeah, but don't you hate it when you kick them, but they've got that balance, so they just come back? Fucking hate that.
Yeah, the worst you do is you pick them up and then you go to other cones and scream into your enemies and then shout at the other ones to intimidate them so that
Yeah.
they no longer try to
It's-
uprise
it's
and
like
then
real life-
dictate where you can go.
It's like real life thaumaturgy. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I do on my channel. And the like. So yeah, come over, chill, follow, or don't, whatever. I'm not your mum. Next.
No.
The cone pandemic is a real thing, guys. We need to talk about this.
Oh
And
my
for
God.
only $5 a month, you can assist in stopping the cone pandemic. Find out more on my channel. Yeah, anyway. Derek.
Indeed. Sorry. Hello. Hi. My name is Derek from atop Derek Mountain on all the different medias of the social variety, as well as on Twitch. You can find me on that channel more than 5 days out of the week, where we are streaming a variety of things. That goes from everything from gaming, from big old pews with wonderful streamers and friends and whatnot, all the way to, RP stuff. And then we also started salt and peppering art into the mix as well. We are doing cosplay at least 2 days out of the week, and we're building at least the 3 cosplays for the month of August, inspired one by Overwatch and the other one by Coyote and Crow. It is going to be absolutely wonderful. So if you want to be a part of that journey, you want to see what it's like to make cosplay from point A all the way to point B, feel free to come on down. I'd love to see your face. And thank you so much for tuning into this wonderful adventure that we got going here with this fantastic gaggle of humans.
Hell yeah. And I am Looking at RP. You can find me at Looking at RP on Twitter and Twitch. I'm more active on Twitter than I am on Twitch. I hardly stream. But when I do, I don't know what I play usually. Anyway, you can find me here on Thursdays DMing this wonderful game. That's pretty much where I reside at the moment. So
This is why we don't go over 3 hours. It's because we all start losing our
Our brains.
my mind has been gone all session. It just has. So
Hey, it's
but-
4:20 here though. Hell
Blaze
yeah.
it.
Hell yeah.
Blaze
Yeah. Sorry.
But
all this
thank you so much for everybody who has tuned in. We had such a wonderful turnout tonight. Thank you guys so much for all the subs, the follows, and everything tonight. Make sure to stay tuned after the credits because we will be rating TTRPG Theater and they're playing Vampire the Masquerade. So please,
Oh,
please go give them a follow, go give them some love, and we will see you guys on Monday for Flames of Freedom and next Thursday for another episode of
Yes.
Lost City of Vedranis.
We will.
So
All right.
have a wonderful night.
Okay.
Bye.